Wait like 4 or 5 seconds and start it. Hello, everybody.
Hey!
How's everybody doing? So what happened today was I was watching Simos Funk. He was playing video games, and they were talking about intros. And I was like, oh, great, now I want to do one. So that was an hour and 45 minutes ago, so I just threw that together.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. So everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. And we got, of course, Sinise up here, and
Hi.
Will, and Jenny.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So before the show started here, we were talking about, okay, so I don't want to tell the story 500 times because I feel like I already have. You guys haven't heard it. So my sister-in-law called, telling me about how the kids were doing. She started out adopting 2 kids who were from a drugged up mother. And she got to the end of adopting them, and the mother had another one. And then she got towards the end of adopting that one, and now the mother had another one. Well, now she's up to 5. So she drew a line in the sand and said she needs to go down. She needs to get her tubes tied. The grandmother, the mother of the mother, has set up an appointment for her to go down and get that done. Because, the bottom line is my sister-in-law doesn't want to say, okay, I adopted the first 4, and that's the max I wanted. And now you had one more, so I just didn't want to adopt your brother. So all 4 of you can be mad at me.
Exactly.
And hate me. And yeah.
That's such an impossible situation to be put in, though.
I mean, you're just stuck at that point. And she said, don't get me wrong. I love these kids. And, she loves everybody. She's just a really good person. And my brother, her and her have like big hearts, And so it's not that she doesn't want to, but she's like, but at some point you got to say enough's enough.
So as someone who's pulled themselves out of a horrible situation, at some point in your life, you have to take personal responsibility. I say it to the point where it's annoying, but
right.
I'm no one to define somebody else. We all have different definitions of personal responsibility, but at some point in your life, you have to stand up for yourself and say, hey, I'm going to either stop doing this or I'm going to follow this through to where it's not everybody else's responsibility.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. Unfortunately, sometimes I think that's an old school value, or the people who live it are fewer and far between. Am I wrong?
Well, there's also people who completely twist the concept of personal responsibility to rationalize the way the cutting of any sort of social safety net. So it is a fine line to walk. There absolutely should be personal responsibility. Like, for example, if you're a crackhead and you're a crackhead, don't get fucking pregnant. Use a condom, for God's sake. But
how much of a hint does she need? Like, really?
So where I live, they hand out
with the purchase of 5 crack rocks.
Oh no! If you go to anywhere, you could go anywhere in LA, and they'll give you condoms. You can go to the grocery store; they'll give you free condoms.
Yes, please. Here, don't have any more.
Oh, safe sex is promoted here.
Yeah, well, you have to. You have to in a large city, man.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, you're just asking for more. Those condoms are nothing compared to what it would cost the city to deal with that shit.
True.
I'm pretty sure my boyfriend's methadone clinic gives out condoms.
No, for real, they do. No, for real, they do, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
How do you feel, Jenny the dad?
Sometimes they give out the crappy lifestyle brands. At that point, what's the point of handing out the condoms when you give out the ones that are going to break anyway?
look at the example that people have nowadays of taking personal responsibility. I love it when you get these profoundly hypocritical Republican legislators who go out and break the exact laws that they campaign so hard for.
Right.
And
I agree.
I won't get into dirty sexual details just because I don't want to.
Like Republicans.
And then they stand and say, "Well, I'm taking personal responsibility for that," and it stops there. So taking personal responsibility has now come down to admitting that you're a fuck up.
But is there consequences though? Because I come from the old school.
Consequences.
That's what bothers me, because I've been held to a certain standard, and sometimes, we talked about gatekeeping. Sometimes I hold people to that standard, so I have to back off, but I've been held responsible for my choices in life, and so I can see when people haven't been, like you were just saying, Jenny. Like there's like people who have a ton of power who can just say, "Oh, I admit I was wrong," even though someone like our ex-president, where people died because of their blundering,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. See, you brought up a good point, because there is a difference. I try to teach it to my child, but he's not the president right now.
I just love when these Republican politicians use personal responsibility as a trope as to why abortion should be criminalized, but the second they knock somebody up, they'll be the one paying for the damn procedure. Like, oh wait, what happened to you? You stuck your dick in the bitch. Why don't you pay some fucking child support?
And I'm gonna get old school, but as someone who pays a lot of taxes, that really pisses me off. I never thought I'd be old enough to say that, but it's true.
And that goes into the debate about, well, if it's a woman's body and she has a right to choose to have an abortion, where's the man's right in it? And I think that the guy should have a right. But
okay, but what if the guy's abusive?
But if that guy, well, then you just take him to court and handle it that way and stop it. There's always ways to stop things.
I think it should vary on a case-by-case basis.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If the guy says, "Hey, I want this child," and he can prove to be a functioning member of society and worthy of parenting a child, then he should pay for all the medical expenses. And then when it's done, he can take the child and she can leave. And she should be totally not having a responsibility if that's, but there should be options. I don't think it's a one-way street.
I agree, but the feminist argument is that a woman has 100% say over her body, so no man should be able to requisition her body as an incubator.
Yeah, I have a child myself.
It's his sperm, and it was
okay.
Unless it was rape or something, I'm
going to give you the perspective of someone who has given birth. Pregnancy is hell. It was absolute hell. I'm still dealing with the consequences. My daughter is 3 years old, almost 3.5, and I'm still dealing with the consequences of having been pregnant and giving birth. I am nearly incontinent from the physical trauma of labor. I still have crippling sciatica to the point where I occasionally have to walk with a cane.
Oh.
Yeah, pregnancy is not fun. And third trimester, I could not even move without being in pain, because it's just everything is shifting. Your organs take, I think, at least a year to get back to their regular positions. I had to have surgery because they found out I had gallstones when I was pregnant. It's not a fun experience being pregnant. If anybody says it's a beautiful, magical experience, I would like to administer a drug test for every possible to get high on. It's not fun. The morning sickness, let me tell you about the morning sickness, okay? You don't always throw up. Sometimes you spend all day feeling like it's at the edge of your esophagus, ready to come out, but it doesn't come out. You're tired constantly. It's not a fun experience. So for the pregnancy aspect, that's where a woman should have more say. But at the same time, now if a guy says he doesn't want any part of parenthood, as my daughter's father actually was Now, he kind of did a 180 on me, but he bailed while I was still pregnant. In those cases, there should be an option for a man not to have responsibility. But when it comes to actually going through the physical experience of being pregnant, that final say has to be left up to the woman, because at the end of the day, she's going to be the one experiencing it.
That's my whole point. That quite literally is my whole point, because I can't have a child, so then I shouldn't. I don't know. That it's a hairy situation. I've heard really good arguments on both sides, and I'm still kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know? And I haven't been put in that situation, so I really can't be like, I don't know, because I just don't see myself forcing somebody else to do something with their body.
Yeah, see, that's the
don't
problem.
Get pregnant, harmonica man. Don't get pregnant.
Should we be allowed? I mean, should we take it a step further and be allowed to take the fertilized egg out of that mom and put in another woman that he wants to have a baby with?
Exactly.
I mean, where do you stop?
Exactly, and that's part of the problem. Is where does it go? You know. And
I mean, that would actually be a really cool sci-fi concept, though.
That was my
You're
first
welcome.
thought. That was my first thought. I was like,
you can have that shit. I'll give it to you.
Interesting concept. The problem is, though, once the embryo implants in the uterus, there's no way to re-implant a pregnancy.
well, the Borg actually had them on the Borg cube. They were making babies.
It's not Star Trek.
Sorry.
Let's stick to reality.
No.
You know what's so funny? I usually say that to people, but you know, I love Star Trek. So
Ew,
back
I prefer Star Wars.
So to completely switch the subject, B, how about attacks on people who are
Too stupid to live.
no, people
Damn.
who are considered Asian, because in America we don't consider people from India Asian, but if you're in England, they're considered Southeast Asian.
Right.
So-
and then you have the Pacific Islanders.
Exactly. So
Right.
there's been increased tax on people who are of Asian descent.
Yes.
Is it in America or is it around the world?
Well, I know for a fact, I looked up some statistics today. Just in the U.S., in the last year, there's been 3,800 reported attacks.
Fart. That's a lot.
Now, hold on. That includes people yelling at people on the street, like screaming out racial slurs. Okay, so of those, 11% of them were physical attacks. So I guess we're looking at like what 350, 400 people that were physically attacked in the last year, and that's just what was reported. So
That's disgusting. That's just, it's insane to me. But people do what they're told. They were, let's go back to
follow
the
the king.
source. Let's go back to the source. What's his face used to always say, what you call it, the Hung flu or whatever
The
racist
Kung
thing.
flu,
Yeah,
China
whatever-
virus.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Like, you can't.
I know.
You can't defeat that
I
when
am
they're
honestly
another
shocked.
separation and another kink in the diversity chain.
Exactly.
That's,
I'm
that's all it
honestly
is.
shocked that this most recent uptick didn't happen sooner, because I think if not for the stay-at-home orders at the beginning of the pandemic, it probably would have happened a lot sooner. Like this massage parlor shooting. I mean, my God.
Yeah,
Don't even get me started on that.
10 people.
And
10
they're
people
making
dead. 2 of them one was a white dude and one was a white woman, and all the rest of them were Asian women.
And yet, I think I saw on the news, they did arrest the attacker, correct?
Oh yeah, he said it. He said he did it because it caused him too much temptation because they were massage parlors.
Oh,
which
you
were legal
gotta
there.
I
gotta
don't
be
know how
kidding me.
much I believe that. That
was
sounds
his
like a load of
excuse.
crap to me.
Yeah, that was his
I
excuse. It
saw
was
on the
too
news,
tempting.
yeah, there's no racial motivation. And I looked at the TV and I just said to myself, that is bullshit. It is absolutely a racial motivation.
Oh, there you go. Sarah said that he said he had a bad day.
What's that?
That's what it
Jenny?
was.
Okay, so like Brenda Spencer, when she shot up those poor kids. Oh, I don't like Mondays. Really?
Yeah.
No, you did it because you're a
Oh, I
fucking
remember
psychopath.
that. Oh, I
Right. Right. Yeah. So, apparently
Are we going to?
it's been going on more behind the scenes than we. Huh?
Can I be introduced to the little guest?
Oh,
behind?
oh, this
I
is
like your
Talia.
cat. Hi, you're adorable.
That's Thalia, and she is not very touchy, just when she wants to be. But she does that. She'll pat me on the shoulder when she wants petted. And she
Aw.
pats me on the leg. And sometimes she claws me. And then I'm like, okay, I'll fucking pet you. So that works. That works for her. I'm trained. I'm really good. I'm trained.
You're a good cat staff.
Yeah.
Dogs have masters, cats have staff. Always
You know what,
remember
it's-
this words of
Yes,
wisdom.
I am good
It's-
cat stuff.
It's really easy to attack someone when they've been othered. When you say, "Oh, that person may have this disease," or they're a bad person because of something that I'm vaguely going to tell you about, you know.
Oh,
The
the
investigator
wait a
said
minute.
that about the
The-
motivation.
The investigator said he had a bad day. Is that what you're telling me? Because I saw that somewhere, but I didn't
Oh,
know.
in Georgia,
You've got to
they'll
be
make
kidding me.
they'll make excuses for you. They'll cover up your hatred and your, you know, because they don't want people to know that the legacy of death and racism has never ended in Georgia, you know. Ugh, it's just sad.
Really,
It's
not
so
much of
sad.
anywhere in the South. It's still everywhere in the Bible Belt.
Yeah, but I've been a few places that I thought were actually progressive. Like Austin, Texas is actually a way more progressive than people give it credit for.
Yeah, I think I did read a lot of the more major metropolitan areas of Texas are shockingly blue. It's just the rest of Texas.
I've been to North Carolina and and honestly, I didn't feel as looked at as I did as anywhere else in the South. You know, so I guess it's situational too, and it depends
That's-
where you are,
that's
who you're
actually-
with.
Me, because my aunt went to North Carolina with her best friend, and they were sitting in this luncheonette because their thing was they always ask the locals, well, where do you like to go eat? So they're sitting in this luncheonette that somebody recommended to them, and my aunt is a little Italian lady, and she said, I was the darkest one in the restaurant.
Okay. Okay.
You know, it just makes me angry. It's just another group of people that are being singled out and attacked because they're different, and the truth is they're not different.
We are all, see, this is what I don't understand, right? These people are prejudiced. First of all, people are prejudiced, and then they don't even know where they came from, and then they do the 23andMe, and then one day, oh my God, I'm
Uh-huh.
part African. And, well, no
Yep.
shit, you dumbass.
I
Most of
actually
us
love watching
are-
the racists. I love watching them implode when their DNA results
It's
reveal
fucking
something like
stupid.
that. Like, oh, you're dropping N bombs left and right, but you've got some African American in your DNA. Bet you feel like a dick.
And as somebody who has on my dad's side as about American roots as you could get, because I have family members that, you know, they were brought here over on the ships. Let's just put it that way. And I forgot my point because I'm smoking pot. Most people.
Oh my God, Bill.
Say what you want is
Quit
bad.
doing that little
Yeah,
stuff
but I
in
had
your
a
own
point.
house like you're
I had
allowed.
I had a real point and I forgot it. Oh, give me a second.
So,
Because,
You're in a state
so
where
you
it's legal.
took your real
Yeah.
point. So you took your real point and you pawned it for a real joint. Is that what you're saying to me right now?
No, I worked really hard today. It's been a really stressful day, and like I want to forget my pro. It's been I'm gonna have to fire someone that I
Drink some
consider like a
vodka
family
like the
member.
rest of us, you pussy.
I don't drink.
You're
I'm-
on welfare. Come on.
No, I'm gonna have to
What,
fire.
Jenny? What? I didn't hear what Jenny said.
I said, you didn't work today. He's on welfare.
I wish. I wish.
Well, I mean, he lives
wish.
like outside of LA and he's
I
black.
Today, I worked
wish.
today, and I'm going to go back to work in about 2.5 hours
I
because
wish.
I have no life outside of this godforsaken hotel.
But I'm gonna have to.
Have y'all noticed an uptick in the amount of times I join streams from work? That's because I
Oh.
don't get time off.
I remembered my point.
I live here.
Just say no. But my whole point is,
I just say no.
if you do a DNA test, someone like me is gonna pop up in your bloodline because most people in the South are related to Black people. Sorry, whether you know big, it's just the way it is because the population of the South, black people outnumbered white people like 3-1. There was a certain point where they outlawed slavery because there were more black people in the South than white people. You can look it up.
Stop!
Look it up.
Okay.
Someone took a census and they were like, "Oh shit," it's a real thing.
All the white people beat their pants real quick, like shit, man. They could They could win. We gotta stop this.
Oh yeah, history's
my
funny
God.
that way. It's the stories we tell ourselves. History's funny that way. But basically, somebody who was like there for my dad. They work. I work on a property that's owned by my family, and it's a giant property that houses mentally disabled adults.
Oh
And
wow.
oh yeah, it's huge. So basically, it's a place where if you're a self-starter, it'll be the greatest job you ever had, because the shop that I work in is the size of like 5 different houses. You can park a 35-foot bus just in one bay. So it's Disneyland with tools for people
I
who like to
approve.
think.
I approve of this message. Go ahead.
I grew up there. It's where I learned to weld. I learned every skill I know because I had all this space. Somebody's not earning their
Don't
keep.
tell me about this Disneyland with tools because I might want to borrow them to hit somebody over the head. And by
If you see-
somebody, I mean my boyfriend.
All these tool boxes are not for show. These are just the ones that all of my tools. But my whole point is someone that I love and respect is going to get canned because they're not keeping the end of the bargain. And it's easy to get lazy at that job because you rarely get checked on because you just have to make sure everything gets out properly. It's not difficult once you know what you're doing to maintain a property if you really know what you're doing. But it's easy to get caught when you're sloppy. And it's just sad. Someone that I respect is going to get canned. But they're not doing their job. And you know what? Times are hard. There are literally 30 people lined up to take that person's job and who will work their butt off. So,
It's true.
I'm expendable and I'm from there, so there's no past. When my dad worked there, if I was doing something half-a, he would have fired me. He would have fired me on the spot,
Yeah. Oh, I believe it.
He was harder
That's
on me than other people.
That's how, like, when my mom was my teacher in school, and I thought, Shh,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do whatever I want now, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, that
First
didn't turn
time-
out well for you.
First time she told me, can it. I
Yeah,
did it again.
exactly.
I was talking because I figured I can do whatever I want.
And that's
Second time she said, oh, I'm not done. Second time she said, can it. The third time I was like, whatever, Ma. Shit. What are you going to do? 3 days in school suspension.
That's what I'm saying.
And then she started grilling me every day on the way home and the way back on my science shit. All the way. And it was a 45-minute drive. Yep.
I just want to bring something. I just saw in the chat, Dick Dawson said something about maybe if we started putting people who are blank. They tried that with oh God, who let you in here? They tried that when
Hey.
discussing, for example, neurodiversity such as autism. It wasn't as well received. It was called person first language. It wasn't
Yep.
as well received as some may think. So I think we've tried that. I mean, I understand the concept, like having people as the first word of focus, but in theory, it's a good idea. In practice, it didn't work out as well as people thought.
Right.
So at my job, even my mom she's like commander in chief, and she is the definition of no bullshit. Like I'm the fun one and I'm no bullshit, but she doesn't
Right.
mess around. And so someone that I really respect got caught and they're gone. Like we call her the Queen of Hearts because if you fuck around, she will chop your head off. You can go work somewhere else, So
The Queen of Hearts.
Oh,
Chop
yeah.
off their head.
oh, she's my that's that's been her reputation for a while. But it's good to be no nonsense because people know you're not effing around,
Right.
And
That's
so
why
there's
Godforsaken Hotel.
there's an understanding like, hey,
Yeah.
if you cross this line, no matter who you are, and my mom has fired family members. That's why I'm the only one left. She don't play. Where I'm from,
but
You have to.
I've always been like
It
that.
can't get easy at holidays.
Oh, I'm sorry, Will. Finish that sentence.
Oh no, you just like where I'm from. You have to earn your keep. You know, it's just
Right.
it's that simple. You
Well,
know, and
yeah.
it's not hard. It's not the most difficult thing in the world.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? I lost it. Oh, that's one of the reasons I have trouble leaving my job. It's only part-time, but I get better money than I did as a manager, as a lower level manager. And
should
it's not
probably
hard
quit my
work.
job.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
hard work. So why would it's hard for me to walk away from it for a full-time job I know nothing about? Because I know I can work part-time with my brother and work on these 2 renovations and shit he's doing. And I know I'll survive. I won't have a bunch of extra money, but that's okay. You know, I'm good with it. But yeah, so it's hard for me to walk away because I know there's about 5,000 motherfuckers around here just going, go ahead, be quit. Go ahead, be quit. I will jump on that shit.
Oh,
That's
there's
$3 more an hour than Home Depot pays.
There's
And
people,
it is.
There's people gunning for my job. You know, that's just the way the world is.
Yeah.
None of you motherfuckers want my job, I'll tell you that much. I've got more horror stories since the last time I appeared on a stream. Because I always have horror stories. The police chief has now told my boss not to contact him anymore. On Saturday, I think it was, this jackass was verbally assaulting both me and my boss, calling me a fat bitch, calling her a fat bitch, falsely accusing us of blood staining the mattresses, and then for some reason he knew what I drive and took pictures of my license plate, and I called the cops to report menacing and terroristic behavior. And because the guy happened to be black and my boss and I happened to be white, the cop accused me and my boss of racism.
Because they're lazy. The cops being lazy.
That's an understatement. The police chief has literally ordered the police force not to help us get anyone out anymore or with pretty much anything anymore.
Oh,
So
that's
my
lovely.
boyfriend had decided he's had enough, and yesterday he took me to the convenience store near our house, and I am now the proud owner of a beautiful rainbow knife and some pepper spray.
Pepper spray is awesome.
I was
Yeah.
going to say 32 snub nose gets right in your pocket.
And it depends on what state you live in, and
Yeah,
snub noses are loud.
But you know what's bad about guns? There's a fine line between I shot them because I thought they were going to attack me, and you have to wait for them to actually attack you if it's a physical
Yeah.
attack.
Yep.
So that
Well-
guy could knock you out, and then he has your gun
Yep.
because you don't
Yeah.
see him coming.
Do any of you trust
it's-
me with a
it's-
gun? Let's be realistic. Would any of you trust
I don't
me
know
as
you
far
well
as-
enough to
Well, you know,
have an
in
opinion
certain,
on that.
in certain
Well, they're not
states,
near me.
if
I
certain
don't
states,
care.
if you shoot someone, no matter what, you're gonna go to jail. Like here,
Yeah.
if someone ran in here right now and was waving a gun at me and I shot them, I would probably still go to jail on some weird charge I've never heard of. So it depends on what state you live in.
Oh yeah, but there's pretty much everywhere there's a castle law, but that's
Mhm.
your home.
No. Not true.
There's-
Not true. New Jersey
I
does not
said
have that kind of a law.
everywhere.
What the hell is a castle law?
But there is a castle law, but which is great, but that doesn't apply to everywhere you are.
Yeah. But see, California is arse backwards because like I say, in certain counties you can own bullets, but you can't own guns, and in other counties you can own guns, but you can't own bullets. Like,
I
and
told you I'd live right on the line.
I saw some guy driving a full tank, a full tank, and I know it wasn't for the movies because they do film movies around here,
Yeah, but they transport
up,
those
one
on the
of your
back of a
neighbors
truck.
is
They don't
driving a
drive them down
tank?
the road.
Yeah, they got rubber pads on them.
I want to drive a tank.
There's people that drive Heelys around here, the old British
Mhm.
tanks. But that's like you get weird people from the movie industry. So you'll see some guy driving like it looks like a brand new car from the 20s, but they're insured for more than my house.
Jesus.
Well, guys, Jenny's gonna jump off here. She's got some stuff to do. So, but thank you for coming in, Jenny. I really
Good
appreciate
seeing
you
you,
stopping
Jenny.
in. You know I love you.
Jenny.
You guys.
Bye, honey.
I was having tooth
another
pain. I'm gonna have
another work horror story, because I know Will loves my work horror stories. Because I've always got one. So Saturday night, my boss worked the overnight because we have yet to hire another overnight person, and she had to go into a room to fix the TV, and it was actually like an occupied room. Somebody came out and told her the TV wasn't working or whatever, and she's in the room trying to fix the TV, and somebody comes running out the bathroom completely stark fucking naked.
Oh, see, that's
And
lovely
that's a
stuff.
tamer one of the stories I have from this godforsaken hotel. B doesn't know about the time somebody tried to run me over with a car because I couldn't check them in.
Okay, let's get back on topic. That's open mic night shit. So let's get back on topic.
I
Anyways,
stand up about work. Yeah.
you probably should. You have enough stories, I'm sure. You probably
Oh
should.
God,
That's not
that
a
would
bad
be so
idea.
bad.
So
But
we
anyways, so
we
we
were
were talking about Asians being attacked and how stupid it is. And the other point I was going to make is not only is it stupid because of people's lineage, but it's stupid because we're just different because of the environments our people had come from. That's all it is, everybody. Nobody's anatomy is different. Nobody has like, oh, it's a black person. They can only have black blood. That's fucking stupid.
We're all
Like,
from the same
So
source.
what
People
the
really
fuck
believe
is wrong
that?
with people? People are just stupid. It's ridiculous.
People will
I
believe
agree.
Criminalized warning label.
people will believe anything that reinforces their beliefs. So if they hear
Confirmation
something,
bias.
yeah. So if they
Mhm.
hear something that says, "Hey, this makes me more important than you," they'll latch on to it because it's hard to face that you're just like everybody else because you are special, you are important, but we're all the same. And
Because everybody's important.
yes, and we all
I
have certain
disagree.
feel-
Donald Trump is not important.
unfortunately, in my lefty hippie California way, like he's important to somebody, not to me, not to many people I know, but he's important to a lot of people.
No, the naked person in the hotel was not playing a harmonica. They were just really drunk.
We didn't know if it was Randy or not. We were just checking. Thank you for that.
No,
Mike.
I think if
I've
Randy
been
was
there.
in my hotel, I'd have thrown him out on the ground. Said I cannot let people I know personally stay here. Like, no,
But
sorry,
you're
Randy.
saying
Get out.
naked.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just don't. I mean, my father was a prejudiced person, and I looked at my mom, who was not, and looked at him, and I said, "Why would I want to be like that? Like that's stupid. Mom's right. They just have a better tan.
So
I don't care."
I truly believe that my dad lived to be as old as he did because he didn't hate people. He grew up like in the apartheid South where they had like black people sit over here, white people sit over here. And he never passed any of that on to his children. And he would always tell us to not be racist, to not hate people. And he grew up in Savannah, Georgia,
Oh.
Well, according to school, you failed that philosophy.
in the 40s, in the 40s and 50s, So
Yeah.
I appreciate people like that. So it is
Yeah.
environmental because he didn't want his children to reflect where he came from. So he was like, he tells all the time, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing,
You know.
That's
You're actually
that's
making the
key,
stigma
learning the
worse
right
by
thing.
doing that.
And that's another
Any
thing.
experience is a learning experience. And it sounds like your dad learned the right things from his experience. And he passed on those right things that he learned.
Well, it's also one of those things like I grew up in a very rigid background. So people who grew up with parents that spanked and like were heavy discipline, you either become someone like that or someone like me who's like, hey kid, don't burn the house down. Here's how to cook. Here's a house key. I'm helping my son make targets for his BB gun. It's just it's all environmental. It's all how you were raised. And I think
wish you were my dad. My mom wouldn't let me have a BB gun.
I found the happy medium in there, Will. Like I when they're little and they still have diapers on, you give them a few pats here and there
yeah.
to get their attention, and then they know you mean business. I did it with my nieces and my nephews. And
Oh yeah, so did I with my daughter.
And so why are there two of you, Randy?
There's only one of him on my end. Oh my God,
Uh-huh.
it's frozen. Oh no, he froze.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
But yeah, no,
phone.
it's the same way with my daughter. I gave her like once in a while. I've had to give her a little tap on the butt to get her attention, but mostly I can just be like, hey, you need to stop, or you don't need to do that.
Yeah, because if you get their attention when they're little and they know that you mean it, they're not going to fuck with you after that. I mean, they will a little bit, of course, but there's a line where they won't cross.
I was going to say,
and it makes everything so much easier.
I agree with you.
You have children; they will always fuck with you.
I did.
Oh yeah.
My dad was a no nonsense kind of guy, so I saw my dad get in a couple fist fights, and then I realized that my dad was no one to be messed with, So that made me more scared of my dad. And I've screamed at a few people, not like directly in front of my child, but it's well known that I won't back down. So my kid knows that there's a certain line.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
But exactly. He's grown up with me. He's grown up with me, and so he's kind of like me. It's weird. Like he hasn't crossed that line, and even but it's weird because it's my child. I have 10 times more patience for my kid than I would anybody else. So it's one of those things. It's one of those
I'm a lot more patient with my daughter than I am with most people. Then again, my daughter is smarter than most people, despite her age.
But my son will have friends over and stuff, or my ex-wife will bring like his best friend over from the other side of town, and I'm like, I don't know how my dad didn't. Well, see, that's the thing. Like my parents drank, so they had a ton of kids in the house. It's stressful when you have more than one kid in the house.
Dick, you're in Canada. What do you mean, Dick? You're in Canada. You're totally different over there in Canada. Everyone's nice over there, from what I heard. This is America. We're all assholes.
What were you going to say, Randy?
Though?
Not necessarily.
Exactly.
We are assholes.
That's the problem. I say this shit, and it's outlandish, but it's so true.
With Will's parents and everything, they had a drink every once in a while, and probably like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Go play in traffic.
Yeah. The one thing that I always respect both of my parents, and people who had parents that drink heavily, like they always have issues, but both my parents would get up every day and go to work, no matter how much they drank. And even on the weekends, like my dad would drink a lot, but he'd wake me up on the weekends, like, all right, let's go fishing, let's go do something. He'd be up at like 6 a.m. after drinking all night. I can't do that. Those old schoolers, like, they played hard and they worked hard and played hard. So that's the one thing I respect about both my parents, is that they may have drank like fish, but they would still get up every day. They wouldn't talk to you until they got coffee in them.
Right.
Well, that's most people now. Are you kidding? My mom, it's like there's like an equilibrium that has to be maintained with my mom. If she doesn't have coffee within arm's reach at all times, it's all hell breaks loose.
Hey, that reminds me of Bill Ball.
I'm going to be that old person.
Yes, me too.
Sorry. I had to say it.
Bill
Yeah,
Ball
you both are on a path to becoming my mother.
When Bilbo Baggins looks at Frodo and says, "Can I just touch the ring one more time?"
Ew, Lord of the Rings. I hate Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely hate Lord of the Rings. Maybe that makes me weird, but I cannot.
What's that, Harmonica Man?
That's just before coffee right there. That Bilbo Baggins look. Randy, touch me.
On my birthday, my mom got me a coffee cup that says, it's a crab, and it says, "I'm crabby before coffee." And I was like, that's not funny, but it's true.
It's absolutely funny. Why would it not be funny? That's hilarious.
She's calling me out.
I almost got my mom a coffee cup that said, "Give me coffee and nobody gets hurt," because that's literally her mindset.
I like that. I'm gonna I quit drinking 4 or 5 years ago. I quit smoking nicotine. I'm coming up on 3 years of no tobacco or any kind of nicotine at all. So
well, aren't you lucky?
Yeah, but I still drink coffee, and I started drinking Pepsi. So
Ew, why would you drink Pepsi? Everybody knows the wise man drinks Coke.
It was the weirdest thing. Coke is harsh and Pepsi's sweet.
Pepsi is not sweet. Pepsi tastes like laundry detergent.
It all.
I disagree. I like them both, but Pepsi is super duper sweet. Like it
It
hurts my teeth.
I think
So
that's the
fucking
thing.
sweet.
I'm a.
You know what hurts my
I'm a
teeth?
sugar head.
Oreos.
Huh?
I'm a.
What?
Sorry. What's that?
You know what hurts my teeth? Oreos. I love them so much,
Really?
but Oreos hurt my
They
teeth.
don't bother me.
Okay, so because my son has ASD, he falls in these ruts where he eats the same thing over and over and over.
Mhm.
Because of my son, I can't stand the smell of Oreos. I ate Oreos every day for like 4 years. Cheez-Its, I still miss Cheez-Its.
Not the
Oh,
chicken thing, right?
barbecue chips. He has some barbecue chips in his room right now. He knows I won't touch them because he's been eating the same thing for years. They're gross
My
to me.
boyfriend's like that. He gets into. He has like I
Oh.
call it different snack kicks.
Oh,
Right now, his kick is sour gummy bears. He's not
I like
he doesn't have any sort of autistic spectrum disorder, but he does have ADHD, and he's also just weird. Like he is just. I mean, most
You
of
know
you have
what?
experienced my boyfriend.
I'm no one to judge. Right now, I'm on this weird mozzarella stick kick. I miss bar food, so I started making bar food at my house.
Try
I-
the bacon wrapped
I'm
mozzarella.
Dude,
sticks.
I do
Was it
that.
You,
I
I
do
was
that
telling
shit.
about the bacon wrapped mozzarella sticks.
Yes,
No.
you did.
Go
Did
ahead.
You try the
Who makes
bacon
them?
wrap. What?
Who makes them?
Me.
Oh, you make them at home?
Yeah, you get the regular old little string cheese sticks,
Right.
freeze them so that they
Right.
don't get all mushy when you fry them up.
Right.
You get some bacon.
Right.
I recommend using 2 slices for each stick. So
Mhm.
you wrap one like long ways around like the top and bottom of the stick, like the ends,
Uh-huh.
and then you kind of twist the other one around the stick itself.
Uh-huh.
Put it in place with toothpicks, and you fry them up in a frying pan.
Okay. Well,
Boom.
stream's done. Gotta go.
I could also give you my recipe for mozzarella stuffed burgers, or
That
I
sounds
also
good.
make a bacon wrapped boneless chicken breast that is to die for.
You
I
know,
tend to miss beaver meat, but I haven't trapped one in a while.
I'm not saying shit about that. So, anyways, go ahead, Will.
if you want to talk about diversity, we should all swap recipes. And Harmonica Man, I would love to hear your recipe on beaver meat.
Listen,
I was about to go off about how if you want to step outside yourself, go eat food from a different culture. If you're not one of those allergic people, like I am. But if you want to celebrate diversity, go eat some Thai food. Go eat some Indian food. See, but I live in
y'all
LA.
motherfuckers are making me want to DoorDash some Chinese.
I
We
live
don't
in
have
LA.
any Indian food in my area. I have to go about 4 hours south to get it.
See, it's I'm spoiled here. I can get like Ethiopian food. I can get Filipino food is good. I'm spoiled being in LA County.
We're
'Cause there's-
totally off subject, but I have to say one thing. What I like to make is you get a skirt steak and you marinate it in whatever kind of marinade you like for like steak stuff, because it's still a steak. And I fry up onions, mushrooms, whatever you want, veggies you want, and put them in the center and roll it and wrap it with that cooking twine. And then you marinate the shit out of it with that same stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh
does
my
this
God.
sound
Throw
like-
that bitch in a crock pot. I'm telling you
Why
right now.
does this sound like an overly fancy version of cheesesteak?
You know what's
No. Oh God, no. This is way better than that. No, it's way better than that.
I live in Philadelphia. Them
I've
fighting words.
No, it's way better than that. So I used to live next to Philadelphia, but anyways, right up the road.
Where at?
In close to Bethlehem.
Oh, all right. So like Booneyville, sort of. Okay.
So
Yes.
I've been
Yes.
having major tooth pain. I'm gonna go get my medicine. I'll be right back. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Okay, we will just keep on without you, Will. Hurry
Major
back,
tooth-
though.
Major tooth pain. That calls for vodka.
Yeah, right.
Two shiny heads.
hey, you could take a pork chop and get one of those thick ones, cut it in half, stuff it with like apples or something like that if you want. You stuff it with anything you want. You can stuff it with stuffing if you want. It doesn't matter. Vegetables, whatever turns you on. Throw some toothpicks in the end and then put it in a milk and egg bath and then bake it. And the milk and the egg will trap the juices in and it won't dry out on you. So there's a handy
tip. That's what the
tip.
bacon does for my bacon wrapped chicken breast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the trick is to really make it good. There's a couple things you can do. I personally am a big fan when you're cooking meat. I like to do it on a rack to kind of ensure more even heat distribution. But with the bacon wrapped chicken breast,
it'll actually cook the meat. It'll just look sexy.
You can put a slice on each side of the chicken breast of like really thin, like provolone or mozzarella cheese before you wrap it up in the bacon. It helps the bacon stick. And before you put it in the oven, just sprinkle a little brown sugar on top of the bacon.
Oh no, you lost me. I can't do sweet
not
with
too
meat.
much. The trick is not too much.
Can't do sweet with meat. Nope. Can't do it.
So I'm the same way.
No, the trick is not too much. It's only like a teeny tiny bit, just a tiny bit, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a glaze to it because of the molasses and the brown sugar.
Yeah, but I'll taste it. I have super sensitive taste
on my bacon, and sometimes like breakfast sausage and stuff like that, just because it's just so rich. But other than that, I really don't like sweet on the meat. It's got to have a lot of, sometimes it's got to have a full
savory
spice. Yeah.
Well, you could always tweak it your own way to make it more savory. I like the brown sugar, but the trick is to have the bacon and the chicken, and I do recommend like a real mild cheese to kind of help the bacon stick. But I mean, you do it your own way.
So I like sweet stuff too, though. But the brown sugar and everything. But once in a while, it's just got to be on a sweet potato, and it's like dessert from the rest of the meal. Because if you get a baked potato with the skin on it, and you bake that sucker in tinfoil, the sugars come out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what Pioneer Sugar's made out of, sweet potatoes and something else that's got natural sugar.
What's really good, speaking of sweet vegetables, it's really good. Me and my friends, when I was like 18, we used to get stoned as shit, and my friend Rich, may he rest in peace, and our friend Brad were growing this garden of veggies for absolutely no reason. We would get high, get the munchies, and pick the peas right off the plant and eat them raw.
Yes,
I don't
they're
understand
delicious.
the point of steaming vegetables. It takes the flavor right out of them. Eating raw snow peas, eating raw snow peas is one of my favorite fucking
they
snacks.
They are sweet and crunchy, and the texture's good, and they're just perfect.
I grow grapes, and at a certain point, they're more sweet than sweet candy. And it's natural, and it won't rot your teeth. So my son and I are literally in the backyard, standing on different vines, just eating them off the vine because they're so good. So to completely bring us back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, can we?
What do you think? What do you think? Why do you think? Well, actually, I know the answer to this one. What do you think we need to do in order to bring more diversity? Just forward, because like in America, our media doesn't reflect who we are anymore.
You're right.
Our shows, like the demographics in this country, have changed. Every other person is Hispanic, at least where I live. And I don't think we address that as much. Because I'm half Mexican, but I know a lot of people where I live speak Spanish. Yeah, because most people speak Spanish around here, and I know
you just grew up learning it. Yeah.
And when I lived on Hoover Street in Los Angeles, most people, and this is white people, black people, speak Spanish because it's the language of the neighborhood or some sort, or have a grasp more than like 50 words.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's not reflected in our media as much as it should be. you know.
Well, pretty much any Hispanic, anybody, Latino, whatever, all the genres of Mexico and Spain, I guess, if you want to call it like that. All the genres. Yeah, there's just so many to say. I know, and there's just it's too much, and half the time I don't know the difference. I have to ask people because I'm so fucking white. But anyway,
well, better to ask than assume and look like a racist.
Oh yeah, I just asked people when I moved here.
I'm kidding.
No, matter of fact, when I moved here, I didn't know what like the latest thing was because of BLM going on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know these two black guys that came in. They were both gay. The only two black guys that were gay that I ever met when I was at my last job. They were hilarious. They were awesome, man. They were both tall, like good looking. One of them was all stacked. He went to the gym every day. He was always coming in there like, I need some water. And he just came from the gym. But anyways, so I just asked one. I'm like, hey man, I don't want to offend anybody. And with all this stuff going on, what's the local preference? Is it African? Is it African American? Is it black? Is it POC? What is it? And he said, black's fine. And I said, thank you. And he never got offended. I just said, I want to know. I don't want to offend anybody because I don't want people to think I'm somebody I'm not.
Yeah,
so I just,
it's definitely better to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people, it don't matter where you go, is like they appreciate honesty.
Yeah.
And then, front forwardness, they don't like the deviance in people.
Not to mention, it's the point that you're making the effort to be informed and to be sensitive to the topic, you know.
Oh yeah, it goes both ways. I'm extremely cocky because I speak Spanish, and I saw this woman one time, and she was gorgeous, and I walked up to her and I was speaking Spanish, and she looked at me and she's like, I'm Native American and you're an asshole, and she walked away from me. I was like, damn it! I'm charming.
You can't win with everybody. That proves it right there.
That's
what I was saying. You're never going to make everybody happy. You're never going to
make another cat.
But I guess
that reminds me. I was wrong. I was in the front of the store just the other day doing peep shows, and I asked this one woman. She walked by, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to see something funny?" And she's like, "Nope, don't want to do it." And her head's down, and she just. Of course, I had my fedora and my overcoat, and I was flashing folks. But I had a box of Peeps on my tied to my belt, and I'm like, free Peep show.
Ew, Peeps.
I saw that video, and it was actually hilarious because the look on that guy's face, he was so
I would have
relieved.
kicked your ass, man.
He was so relieved that you had Peeps. He was so relieved that you had Peeps.
They all get real worried at first, and then I open up the coat, and then there, got Peeps inside there, and they're like, good one.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. So anyways,
where I live, if you did something like that, you'd get beat up in about 10 seconds. Although the funny thing about having a boyfriend with ambiguous sexual preferences is you could do something like that to him, and he would be like, "Ooh," and he'd just like start going with it, or take off his pants, depending on the mood.
Fun and jokes and stuff. Yeah, probably a lot like me. Just rolling.
My boyfriend now, he's like, he purposely flirts with all of our guy friends for the sole purpose of making them uncomfortable.
Well, so what? So Will and I were going on the topic of Hispanic, Mexican, whatever people, Latino, Latina. Blah, blah.
Oh, and also,
I wanted to say hi, Randall. I just wanted to. My point is this: I worked at a place. It was predominantly redneck men. That's usually what worked there. There was a lot of redneck women who were old-fashioned, Bible-minded, blah, blah. You know where I'm going with that. And things would come up missing, and they'd be like, oh, one of the Mexicans stole it. And we'd find out it was one of the white guys. Hey! Or they'd say, man, those Mexicans are fucking lazy, man. I always see them taking breaks. Okay, so the difference is this guy walks around and, checks temperatures, and the Mexicans are shoveling by hand shit all day.
Mm-hmm.
I think they deserve a fucking break.
Oh, yeah.
So it goes back to what George Carlin said in my book. George Carlin said, pick one. Are they fucking lazy Mexicans, or are they stealing your fucking jobs?
I
They're
worked
going to
at,
make up their mind.
Because
They
they'll
can't
still
have- They can't have it both ways.
Yeah, because they'll bust their ass. That's been my experience.
when I was in
Unless they're being paid to be lazy.
when I was in my early 20s, I worked at a
Hi, Jim.
cemetery. How's it going, Judy? I worked at a cemetery in Hollywood, and when I walked in, they flat out told me, they're like, "You're the first American we've hired in a while," because you basically we had to dig. They'd cut out this square, but we had to cut out the grave basically for the backhoe to get in. It's a long story, but there's a lot of people that don't want to do backbreaking jobs, and most of them are not people who are born here. I missed that job. I learned a lot in that job. They paid well too, but there's just a lot of people, so there's that stigma. And the truth is there's a lot of people who aren't willing to work hard anymore. And as someone who's an employer, I can attest to that.
I'm gonna hop off because I'm gonna try to sleep before I gotta go to work.
Were you saying something about the boyfriend flirting with people?
Oh yeah, my boyfriend likes to flirt with our male friends for no reason other than to make them uncomfortable, because he's had a very interesting sexual history, shall we say, and because of the level of interesting his sexual history hits, they're never quite sure if he's serious, and that's what makes it fun for him. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I know he would never do anything like in terms of cheating on me, but it's like, I mean, if somebody actually flat out told him like, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable, please stop," he absolutely would. But
well, keep in mind that people will probably judge you by the company you keep. So it might be good to have a conversation with him and ask him what is it he's trying to achieve, and ask him.
I did. That's how I found out the sole purpose is to make people uncomfortable.
Oh,
I did. I was like, you hit on all our guy friends.
Is that something you want to be known for?
In LA, that's dangerous because a lot of men would take him up on the offer.
I don't know if he'd be 100% opposed to them taking him up on the offer.
But the thing is this something you want to be known for? Like, you might. I know my wife wouldn't want me to be flirting with anybody, and I don't. And
well, it's disrespectful to her unless she's okay with
it.
That's the thing. Like, as long as it's a joke, it's fine, and as long as the other person understands it's a joke and is not truly uncomfortable, then it's fine. Like, if someone tells him to stop, then he will stop.
I have kissed my best friend while both he and I were in a relationship, and it was fine. If it's just a bro thing, if it's just like a if it's meaningless, right?
Casual.
Right. Then don't fucking get sweaty about it.
Well,
also, can I explain my idea as to why it's a good idea to hire people to be lazy?
Hang on. I just want to say one more thing on this subject. Is I think carefully about how this reflects on the both of you. Consider, is this what you really want? Is the only kind of little parting piece of advice I'd give to you.
No, I mean, I would rather be more laid back in that sense, because it's just like, okay, if it's obvious it's a joke.
Oh yeah, if it's obvious, like if they're not, like you said, they're not sure if he's serious.
Yeah, some of them aren't sure, but then if they ask him, he's like, "No, it's obviously a joke. I'm not really gonna cheat on my girlfriend." So
see, a lot of people won't ask though. They'll just assume that that's what it's a prelude to.
You know what? No one can say I assumed. Everybody's had that discussion. Everybody who's in a relationship has had the discussion. Is this casual? Or are we, like, when I first started dating my girlfriend, we were like just kind of feeling each other out, And so a few weeks in, she said, I really don't want you to be with anybody else. And I said, well, I'm not interested in that. Okay, cool. There you go. The line was drawn. There's always a conversation. People want to ignore that so they can feel like it's legal to cheat.
So I've
with me and my boyfriend, there has been that conversation, because I was like, this is definitely a joke, right? I have a feeling it's a joke, but I just want to clarify, it's a joke, right? And most of our guy friends, they just go with it. There's only been a couple that are like, is he really serious? But then, like, they've asked, and he's been like, okay, no, I'm kidding.
You know what?
And then it just evolved into everybody going with it, and most of the guys he does this with are female friends' boyfriends, and we just kind of the girlfriends and I just kind of sit back and watch it unfold and laugh.
It's good that they're asking and that there's clarification happening there.
Because
I suggest be careful.
I had an ex-girl. You know, I'm one of those people. I've been around. I had an ex-girlfriend.
No, not you, Will.
I've had fun.
That's racist.
Lots of fun. But I had an ex-girlfriend who was from the East Coast. She was from a small town in Maine, and she was really flirtatious. And when we moved to Santa Monica, I had to tell her, you have to be careful because you're sending the wrong impression. And because she was like blonde hair, blue eyed, there was people that wouldn't think that we were together half the time. And she would be over flirty. And there was at least twice where some dude followed me to the parking lot thinking like, oh, this girl was really nice to me. And they got the wrong impression. And I had to, let them know.
Oh, yeah.
Two more steps, buddy. Give me two.
Anyway, I am about to hop off because I do need to lay down for work. But I had fun. Thank you for having me, B.
Thanks for coming in, sweetheart. Have a good night.
I will hope that I'll be back for open mic night, but so far it's looking like Fridays are going to be my only day off for a while, and I'm probably going to spend most of that time sleeping. So,
you should. You should. You absolutely should. I had to mute Randolph. He's very windy.
But let's just get one thing straight. Okay, if you don't kiss your homies goodnight, are you even homies?
See, I had a good
Give your
friend.
bros a little smooch every now and then. Tell them they're doing a good job and a pat on their ass.
I had a best friend that I hung out with for over like 3 or 4 years, and her and I got to a point where people thought we were in a relationship, but she was just my best friend. So yeah, if you do kiss your homies goodnight, it is a good thing. So no, you're not. No, you're not homies if you don't kiss your homie goodnight. See, but I'm a little bit more promiscuous, so my scale would be different than somebody else's, And like Jen and I came to an agreement of like, I don't want to be cheated on, so you don't cheat on me, I won't cheat on you. People have to have this conversation,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any relationship, if neither one of you said anything about it, you might want to check yourself. Like, you might want to have that conversation and bring it up. Get yourself in some shit.
Especially the internet has showed me how many people are poly, and there's actually someone I grew up with who's like a biker enforcer, hardcore dude who lives in Texas, and he was poly. And I had no idea. So whenever I have a question, I actually send him a message on Facebook because I have a ton of questions. Sorry, wasn't trying to take all the airways. How are you doing, Genesis?
Just a little bit high.
I'm back.
I always want to cry.
I think I have a spy.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot lie.
Exactly. Let's make that more positive.
Oh, I went from sty to lie, so
I live in a constant state of fear and misery. Do you miss me anymore?
So by judging Randolph's, wherever Randolph is, it's a beautiful day up and down the West Coast, from all the way to top to the bottom.
Right. It's nice here, man.
Oh, it's beautiful here today.
Yesterday was 73 here. And then they threatened snow tonight, and I was like, "You motherfucker!"
I'm in the Greater Vancouver area of British Columbia. It's southwestern Canada. It's right at the southwest corner of Canada, actually. And
I've been to Vancouver.
Yesterday there was a lot of rain, so we went out to walk in the woods in the rain. And nice fresh air. It was wonderful. But the suspension bridge is closed. We went to a place called Lynn Canyon. So Lynn Canyon. It's if you look it up, you'll see North Vancouver. It's a beautiful place. So we went up a little further to Lynn Headwaters Park, and so we walked for a half an hour, and we found ourselves walking in snow because where we parked it was about 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, and we got to a place that was -1.
That's awesome.
Because we're walking up the mountain, right? So it was really nice, but it was mostly slushy snow, but it was still great. It was a good walk. So, yeah,
That's
walking
awesome.
in the rain's fine. We're kind of used to it here, but today would be a fantastic day for it. But I've got work to do.
Carry on, wayward son. Enjoy.
That's like today. I always tell my son, I'm like, you know what? we live in a place where the sun shines. We are not allowed to be pale because we're getting weird from being in the house for a full year. We have weird routines now. You know, I'm coming up on it's past a full year of been hanging out in the house. You know,
Right.
So,
right.
So I tell them, no, you can't be pale when there's sunshine outside. No way.
Yeah, we live in Southern Cali.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
I practically glow in the dark, so but I don't tan. I crisp now.
Yeah, Sarah probably would glow in the, but it's okay. I get that shit from my girlfriend all the time because she's Hispanic and she's got that nice tan, you know, like that. I haven't done anything for it, but my skin is caramely and soft. She's got like the softest skin. And she goes, "You're so pale." So,
I practically glow in the dark. But when I was younger, I actually did tan. People actually used to like debate whether or not I was biracial, and they'd ask my mom that all the time, which pissed her the fuck off. And I loved it because my hair's so curly. But now, like, I don't tan. I just crisp, and it's annoying. It makes me sad.
B, what you described, I call a natural tan.
This.
That's what she has. But look at me. Look. I am tan. That's how white I am everywhere else. So that's why she's like, "Oh my god."
I live in Florida and I'm this fucking pale.
I'm in Georgia, so
it's true. You are really pale for Florida. Yeah.
Hold on. That's me dark. Whoop.
Damn! Look at you all tanned up. See?
That's my summer.
Just got a better tan.
That's my summer. That's my summer. I'm a photo cell. I get about 2 shades darker during the summer.
A photo cell, just suck it right in.
Yeah. Oh, I stand out there like that.
Last time I tried to get a suntan, I got sun poisoning, and that was with a lot of sunscreen. So
okay, so I served for a long time. Sun poisoning is real. I served for a long time.
Dude, I've had it.
I got it on my boobs, so now my boobs have freckles from where I had sun poisoning.
Dude, I had it all over my back. My whole back was like a big blister. I got sick as fuck.
Me too. It's the
I got sick
worst.
as shit.
Yeah, I've had it a few times.
I was so sick. I was yelling for my sister from a room away in a short hallway. And I was like really yelling for her. And she said that she was laying in bed. She kept hearing this little whisper sound.
Yeah.
And that's how weak I was. I couldn't yell. She picked me up and carried me and put me in the cold shower and stood there half naked with me in full clothes. You know, I had pajamas on. She had like a bra and pair of underwear on or something. She was holding me in there, cold ass water, trying to cool me off, dude. It was horrible. I mean, I thought I was going to die. It's the worst. The only thing I could say that compares to that is worse than that is an anxiety attack.
I have
where you feel cramped and tiny and you think you're having a heart attack and you can't say anything. It's kind of like that, but just a milder version.
Yeah, I get those with wearing a mask, so I'll actually have to leave my groceries in the store and like go to my car and like calm down and come back into the grocery store just so I can wear a mask when I'm shopping.
I totally understand. I totally understand that. Mine is more because I'm asthmatic. Like, it's a breathing thing.
Well, I'm also asthmatic as well, and I did have someone like try to suffocate me when I was younger. So it's like my brain's telling me it's like I'm suffocating. Like I'm not suffocating. I have to tell myself that the entire time.
Exactly.
And then eventually I just get to where it's overwhelming. I'm like, I'm going outside.
My sister and some of my cousins tried to drown me when I was a kid, so I started biting ankles and stuff and got away. But yeah, they were, all the girls of the family. So
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I was always getting messed with, and then as soon as I get pissed off and fighting back, and it's like, oh my God, Randy did this, and it's like, you bitch.
How dare you do whatever it is that you did?
That didn't happen in our family. Once I got old enough to start defending myself, I didn't tell Mom. I just started punching him back. I'd hit him with a board. I didn't care. They were a lot bigger than me.
I was always wrong, no matter what the hell I did. Even years and years and years after I was out of the home, didn't have anything to do with my parents. My dad still blamed me for, I just know Randy's sneaking in the house and doing this and doing that.
That sounds a bit like my family now. I got blamed for a lot of stuff too because my brother is mentally a child. So my family's like, well, he's not smart enough to do this. So Sarah obviously did this. Seraphim, how dare you do whatever it is you just did? Like, I have no idea what's going on.
My brother, the one I disowned, not the one that you guys all know. I love him.
Okay. No,
the one I disowned, he started off when I was really young of telling people that I did things, and then when I said I didn't, he'd go, Mom, she's going through a lying phase. Like, he set that shit up, man.
Oh wow!
And so for years, everything he did wrong, I got it. Like 6-7 years.
That's like a sociopathic tendency.
Oh, he is. That's why I don't talk to him anymore.
That's insane.
I cut him out 4 years ago. 4 years ago this May, and it's the best thing I ever did, man.
My sister is kind of like that because she was always the golden child. She was always like the believable one, always in charge. So no one could believe that she was a fuck up when she was a complete fuck up, an utter and complete. And we hate each other because she's a sociopath. And still to this day, she can't come within 5 feet of me of trying to either, tell me how to live my life or, let's just say alcohol and emotions don't mix. She's an alcoholic and she tries to fight people. She'll she'll physically try to fight people. And, you can't be around people like that.
Nope.
Yeah,
So she's one of those come at me bro types.
You know what does mix with emotions? Weed.
Well, see, she pulled it on my brother and I because she knows that my brother and I won't beat her up. Like, she swung on me and I just kind of held her down. And I didn't even know she did the same thing to one of my brothers. And he did the exact same thing because we were raised properly. And we know that she's an alkie and she's hurting, but you can't be around people that like that,
No, you can't. Sarah, I'm so glad you came on. I haven't seen you in forever. I'm glad you're doing good.
Insomniac, basically. I haven't slept for like 24 hours now, but my brain's like, you know what? We're wide awake right now. We're going to do this shit. Can't type for shit, though.
That's okay. Just say it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an author. It goes to the territory.
That's one of the reasons I decided to finally come here. It's like, I don't have to type when I'm up here. I can just do the consciousness. It's fine.
Yeah.
And that's how I normally talk anyway, so no one notices the difference. Yay!
Damn right. I'm
little victories.
Exactly.
I've been in the house for a year. Every month I put up like a new monitor or something, and after like 9 or 10 screens, I was like, okay, I'm done. It's
9 or 10.
It's okay, laptop. I love you anyway, even though I have like 5 or 6 screens.
If I pulled the camera around, it's ridiculous in here.
I wanted
to buy it. I wanted to get rid of my big one and get a smaller one because this screen is so big. It's like a 44-inch in my tiny house.
Yeah.
Which is way too big. And I was thinking about like
I'm trying to save up to move.
I was thinking about getting a smaller one and selling this. Now you're making me think, ooh, I should sell this and get 2 smaller ones.
Yeah. Also I buy the rights. Like, I'm a picker in a lot of ways. I haven't done it because of COVID. And so a lot of auctions.
It's so fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. But I come up on a lot of stuff. And after my dad passed, like, I stopped doing it for a while because it just reminded me of my pops.
See, the thing that I miss the most, and I know a lot of people are going to judge me for this, I actually miss dumpster diving. It's illegal now here, so you can't get caught doing it. But I found some interesting shit doing that.
When I was a kid, I got my first set of drums dumpster diving.
That's how I got most of my non-gospel and country music CDs. That's how I found music aside from country music, was from like my uncle. That was his gifts. Like, he would get us gifts from the dumpster, and I love them. I thought they were amazing. He got me. Someone threw away like an entire CD book full of CDs.
Oh, that's awesome!
I discovered Paul Abdul.
Man, I
basically everything. Yeah.
And you guys get good shit when you go dumpster diving. I get an infection.
Oh, fuck that! Hey, you know what? Me and my ex-husband's house, we carpeted that whole house except for the hallway, kitchen, and bathroom. We carpeted all the rest of it for free. I went to the carpet place, went to the dumpster behind it where they threw out the old shit from these rich people's houses that had like a stain this big in the corner, and I cut that bitch off because my room wasn't that big anyway, and I had an extra, and I built a cat tower out of what was left. So the cat tower in the room matched the carpet.
Oh, that's awesome.
I need to get my cats a new cat tower. My last one broke, and also I put it together when I was drunk, and I decided not to fix it. So, like, the little buckets where the cats are just laying were upside down. My cat.
I think that was like one of the biggest influences.
Fine, Sarah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to get one of the ones from Chewy. Chewy actually apparently they're actually really affordable, and they have ones that are taller than me, but I'm not really that tall anyway, so it's not really hard to be taller than I am. But they have some that are taller than me, and I think my cats would love it. And the ceilings in this house are high as shit, so we're good.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. You can get ones that twist and tighten to the ceiling and floor. So they can go all the way up and all the way back down, and then they have like shelves and shit on them.
The ceilings in this place, while they're high, they're not the most sound. So I don't think roommate would like me doing that because I might ruin her house even more. I have a funny story about dumpster diving.
Ooh, go.
Okay.
So my mom and my stepfather also did it. And like my stepfather found this really nice suitcase when they were dumpster diving. So he brings it home, as a gift for my mom because my mom was going to go on a trip. I think this was when we were going to go on our cruise. And they open and the bag is full of dildos.
Awesome. Awesome.
Wait a minute. New in the package or not?
Not.
Oh,
just full of dildos.
Oh, if it was new in the package, I'd consider is the tape been broken? I consider taking it.
No, my family would have thrown them out even if they were new in the package. My family was like, don't touch yourself. God is watching and all this stuff. And
yeah.
God knows you touch yourself when you're alone and save it until marriage. Well, my family would be very, very disappointed in me because I'm a hoe.
Lust after mom. What's the difference, folks? Anyway.
Well, my thing was my mom and my stepfather, he's not technically my stepfather. They weren't married. I'm like, you guys fuck and you're not married. So why can't I fuck when I'm not married?
That's called hypocrisy.
Yes, exactly.
I've always thought about this since I was a kid. Like, does that piece of paper magically, like when I got married, it didn't feel any different. Maybe I was missing something. Maybe I just didn't have the feeling. I don't know. It didn't feel like anything had changed.
So I don't really want to get married. I've never seen a marriage work. And even now with me working in insurance, like the shady way people act when they separate just makes me where I don't want to get married ever. And like if I have a partner, I'm not putting them on my policy. Fuck that. No, it's a pain in the ass to get them off. And they might call and delete my car. And like 2 weeks later, I'll get in an accident and not be covered. No.
Are you kidding me? My ex-wife and I went to court and we had a lying contest. We told so many stories about each other that still to this day we kind of point and laugh at each other like,
you motherfucker,
you said I did this all
the time.
They do that too. So we recently had a guy call and tell us that his husband was deceased. So then his husband calls back later saying, "Hey, my husband took me off of his policy. I need my own policy." We're like, "Dude, you're deceased. Congratulations for coming back to life, and we'll get this fixed for you."
Exactly. People tell whoppers when they're angry. They tell whoppers
and then they call back together on the same line saying, "Oh, we're back together. Can you add it back?" It's like, dude, you told us he was dead. We need to fix this shit now.
Hey, Will, what's up with you on the monitor behind you? Like, are you making sure we see you fine or
I've been waiting. This is like the 5th or 6th stream that I've been on where people finally notice. I have a ton of technology in here and I'm always playing around with it because I'm a real life picker. I always come up on good stuff and I have it's like an older Panasonic camera. It's like an old stringer, like something you'd see someone, following people around, but it's old and obsolete. So I just ran 4 feet of line over to the TV over there.
Oh, okay.
See, everybody's garbage. So once if you go picking or whatever, the stuff that you get is going to be rotten, broken, rusted, not working at all, beyond repair. You're better off when you do picking around here just to load up and go to the scrap yard or something and sell the metal.
It's same here, but it's so hit or miss. I went I bought a rights to a house and I went in and I got that 76 flag and I go in a room and there's all this white power clothing. I kept all of it. I'll show it to you. I'll go get it one day. But it's hit or miss. One shirt that says pure white clothing with Betty Davis on the back. I've worn that in public.
Wow.
I have worn that in public.
I want to embrace the Cleve shirt from Dave's show so badly, but I know I can't wear it in public because I'm going to get so many people saying, "What's a queef?"
I've come up on artwork where I Google it and I'm like, oh, crud, this is worth it. But I've also picked up people's trash out of their house. So, you never, that's the thing about it's, I'm a gambler. I like gambling, and I've had to learn healthy ways besides going to Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
And also I won't pick certain neighborhoods because I know, and it's not even about socioeconomics because my brother got a 56 Chevy in Compton, California. So it's not about in a locker. They opened it up. The keys were in the car, So it's not about socioeconomics. It's
Holy
just
shit! How much did you pay for it?
He probably paid $600 for the locker. He probably.
See, the show that they had about that was so interesting, but the fact that it was like staged made it so much sadder because it's like this would be so awesome if it was all real.
It is staged because I'm looking for clothes because part of what I do is I give clothes to different organizations.
Mhm.
It's just something that I fell into, something that like I help out where I can. Okay.
Right.
So most of the time when you buy lockers, you're getting clothes. You're getting somebody's old, their old crap from their house.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, like right now, my thing is like at this time, I'm currently living actually in just one room. Like I'm renting a room to a house, and like trying to figure out what my options are. So far, it looks like my only option, if I do end up having to move, will probably be a extended stay hotel. Except for I have 3 cats, and they're not very keen on cats.
No, not
I
really.
just put like all my shit in like a storage locker. I'm like, I really don't want to do that.
Because the thing about that too, though, is that like, let's say you lose everything, you're gonna have to either take everything out of there, or you're gonna like literally lose your whole life and all the stuff that your material possessions.
Exactly.
And that's the bad thing. Like, I've gone into lockers and like it's weird when you see people's baby pictures and stuff.
Oh God, somebody died.
Yeah. My dad used to call me a ghoul because I was the only one. I was like, hey, they're past. But I'm an atheist, so I'm like, hey, they're dead.
It doesn't matter what you believe. They're dead. They don't need that shit anymore.
There's no
like if there's a zombie apocalypse, or all the Christians would be like, oh, we shouldn't take that gun. It's not ours. That dead guy, it was his.
That's my gun.
Fuck that shit. You're gonna take it. You're gonna go. So if you need it or you want it, fucking take it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Hi, Jehovah Witness here. We can't take this gun because says that it's his gun, and it's just not right for us to take gun. So it's not a Christian thing to do.
Is it okay if I pronounce his name?
Okay, who was that?
It's Bok Bok. It's his gun.
No, I mean the impression. Who was that supposed to be?
That was not supposed to be anyone. That was just supposed to be a random character pulled out of my ass. I'm really fucking high. I am really fucking high.
Jen, you're fine. You're fine.
You're great.
You're great. You're good.
Great.
I have smoked so much fucking weed.
I miss being able to smoke weed.
If I pull a random character out of my ass, that means I'm probably in prison.
Don't do that. Then stay away from Mickey.
Sarah, I moved to the land of weed and didn't know it when I moved here.
Well, it's one of the things that helps with my depression.
Here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Georgia, I don't think it's ever going to legalize it, unfortunately. But it's one of the few things that helps.
It's already legally legal.
Yeah.
Well, you can always drive south to Florida where it's practically legal.
I could, but then I'd have to drive back here, and my work would Buck needs his gun. My work would randomly do surprise testing. That would be my luck, because people like, oh well, why don't you just do it? And like, because people notice if my personality changes, and I'm so used to being fake happy for work because of depression that the moment I'm just like normal and even, people are like, the fuck is wrong with Sarah? Why is she not crazy?
You know what? I'm like that too. When people get to know me in real life, I do have moments where I don't want to talk. I know that seems shocking.
Well, I disappear. I disappear when I'm depressed.
No,
that's
why
I've been so scarce, is because I have been depressed and I don't want to tell people about my problems.
Yeah.
But like my doctor, I have my medication through my general practitioner, because trying to find a doctor that can prescribe medicine that I need for bipolar disorder, none of them are taking new patients and none of them take my insurance. I don't have $200 to pay every single appointment. So she's like cycling through all the things that she can prescribe me right now. Right now I'm on Prozac, I think.
Okay.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Well, I take shit for my anxiety. I won't lie, I do. It helps with
anxiety.
Little bit with
Anxiety,
PTSD,
I have the issue
anxiety,
wrong.
depression.
I have Buspirone for anxiety, and I have Xanax to help me fall asleep because I have trouble falling asleep, and then it only gives me sleep for like 4 hours.
Oh, fuck that!
I have lamotrigine as my mood stabilizer, Risperdal, which is a it's kind of like a tranquilizer, and I forget the last one that I take. It doesn't even fucking matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
I take.
See, Will's like, I'm not on anything. He left. No,
I take like a coleslaw of pills like every single fucking night.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
those are my ones to help with my mood. I have other medications for other stuff too, like my polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have like 4 medications for that alone. That if I could find a doctor that'll scoop out my my baby making bits, I'd be perfectly fine. But apparently, I either have to get married and have my husband sign off on it, or have 2 kids first, and then they'll consider it.
Oh wow! You know what? Honestly, as a single parent, I feel like I should be on something sometimes. I feel like I should be on something stronger than what I'm smoking.
Somebody switched my antidepressants with Viagra, and now everything's getting harder and harder.
Has life been hard for 4 hours or more? That's all you need to know.
If so, go to the doctor.
Please. I know it's great that you can use it as a coat rack. I know that's great, but
could die of a heart attack. Not a good thing. Might want to go to the doctor.
You know, it's funny. It's funny for about 45 minutes. Then after that, you're like, holy crap, I got to go to the doctor.
Really?
I'm going to die from a boner. I'm going to die from a boner.
It's that horrible, huh?
No, because
somebody with heart trouble should
think about it.
Use it. So
if you think about it, even like the most virile person doesn't keep it up longer than like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and that's like, you know, someone drank a bottle of whiskey and snorted like 6 lines of yay.
That's why you have fluffers.
Yay.
Yeah, because you got the windsock thing.
Dude, that was awesome. Snorted 6 lines of yay.
You know,
like that.
you get the whiskey dick where it just keeps going and going, and you're like, eventually I should just stop because nothing's happening.
I hate whiskey dick.
Nothing's happening.
Hate it. I don't get it myself since I don't have a dick, but I hate whiskey dick.
Oh my god! But this conversation took a serious wrong turn here.
Okay,
I know.
We're not talking about sexy times, and now we're talking about sexy times again.
We're not supposed to be going down Dick Lane. That's
I
not.
try not to. I try.
That's what I show up for is Dick Lane.
I'm pretty sure half of the people in this panel don't want to talk about dick.
Please save us.
That makes me sad.
I've got a fun fact for all of you.
Which half?
I've got a fun fact for all of you. The city I live in is literally surrounded by one big dike.
Awesome. Is it Roseanne?
The bottom half. The top half doesn't want to hear it.
What did what
division? Don't look at me.
It's like I came in on I'm going to die of a boner. Isn't it the best thing to come in for though?
That just means that we're more fun. This is the fun.
That is a fun fact, Randolph. Thank you for that.
I didn't want to sound prejudiced, so I moved a couple people back. Yeah.
I mean, I'm casual. I will talk about all the genital disease I'd like to talk about. So again, I'm a hoe.
Okay, the only genital stuff I will talk about is in an educational manner, and it will be about zoological facts about animals.
Not my kink. I'm sorry.
It's not a kink thing. It's an It's supposed to definitely not be a kink.
She's reading code words where there are none.
Oh no, I'm just joking. I know he's not.
I'm just gonna have to change this to an open mic now. This is kind of crazy.
Isn't it already?
Well, we are. This is diverse.
You know, that's what I tell people. I said I always, from now on, all of my streams are gonna be like equality open mic and history open mic and Friday just open mic, and we can start with topics. And then I'm just going to let it go because you just have to eventually let the conversation flow naturally.
Well, don't you normally do the open mics on Friday anyway?
Yeah, I've just decided all of them are going to be open mics from now on.
See,
just
I work every Friday, so I can't come in for open mics anyway, so that makes me sad.
Well, then come in Mondays and Wednesdays for my other two. They're all
I am here.
I don't get enough people to be my guest. Actually, I need a guest, and it's usually I'm without a guest, so it's like, okay, where the hell ever pop in?
Well, I'm currently drawing, and I tried to get it to work with my camera to show that I was drawing, but it wouldn't work today. It's like my camera's not working, so you guys don't get to see me draw this time.
Aw.
Good job, Tony. Oh, I mean, Titan. Sorry. To you. Like we don't know who it is already, but you know, it was a request.
I'm horrible at remembering people's real names, so whenever people call someone by their real name, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And it takes me like 5 minutes to figure out who it is, and then I forget the conversation.
The funny thing is people have been calling me B for so long now. Everybody pretty much calls me B, but people I haven't seen in like a year or whatever. Or like, oh, it's, and I'm like, oh God, I forgot, I didn't tell you.
I think I've mistakenly used my real name a few times when referring to myself in third person. That's about it.
Oh well.
Because Seraphim is not my real name, oddly enough. I know.
I mean, you are angelic, though.
I am. Thank you.
You know, I told one person my name, and the next day, like, you know, our entire community knew my name. I told one person, and then everybody. Well, okay. I told Jen from Jen's Little Corner when I first met her, and she told Jenny Morgan.
Right.
That next day, everybody was calling me Will. But that's just in the circle, you know. That's just in the people.
But that's what happens.
Because it was funny because I said something in the chat, and she was like, "Let me tell you something, William." It made my head turn. I walked across the room to my computer, like, "How dare you know my name? How dare you know my real name?" It took a minute.
Well,
It took a minute.
It doesn't matter. I have so many different things going on that I prefer to have my real name out there in association with the Harmonica Man.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, you know,
I just want to point out,
I've been in movies. I mean, I've done all kinds of different shit, and I want my name to be out there so far as the music and stuff. So
your theory might be right, Theo and Dave. Randolph just had to leave for a second. This is what's going on here, folks.
So if we check all the cat burglaries that's been going on in the greater Vancouver area.
Oh my
God. I mean,
I
it could go by my channel name, but my channel's under the Indigo Llama because I got a vanity URL back whenever YouTube was giving them out for everybody. Since I've been on YouTube for like forevers, so just haven't really posted anything. I haven't been active on YouTube.
And that whole thing you're describing about Randolph is the plot to Die Hard 3, I think. Whichever one has Samuel L. Jackson, that quite literally is the plot.
That is great.
The one with Jeremy Irons. I weirdly have I'm a 90s trivia. If you get me on 90s trivia show, I'll win. Good movie.
Hey, has anybody tried these new Coca-Cola coffees?
No.
Have you tried these yet?
I haven't, but I want to so badly because I like Coca-Cola and I like coffee and I like being hyper.
So this one is caramel.
That sounds amazing.
So since Coca-Cola is made with caramel, I thought it'd be a good idea to get the caramel one.
How's it taste?
I'm really scared. I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. I just bought it yesterday. I'm gonna go do it right now, right here. I'm gonna chug this shit. No, I'm not gonna chug anything. I'm not even that big of a soda drinker.
Now it's equality, open mic, and B tries or B reviews.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on.
Or maybe it can be tasty.
It's not too bad. It's a little strange because you think Coca-Cola.
No, I know.
And the Coke flavor is kind of lightened. And then there's some coffee flavor in there and a little bit of caramel. Yeah, I can taste it all.
So it is
strange, but it's not
and
bad.
And they are on the East Coast, Ox, because I've seen them in stores here in Georgia.
Not too
if you
bad.
mean the East Coast of the United States.
I'm going to have to look for that one.
Now I'm going to be
I need to see if they have any have them in the zero version because I'm trying to watch my blood sugar recently. And that makes me sad because all the tasty things have really high carbohydrates. Carbohydrates.
You know what? Easy for you to say, lady.
English, Seraphim. English. And sugar. Carbohydrates and sugars. Yes.
That's it.
Yes, I got it. Proud of me. Yay, I did the thing.
Oh, it reminded me of Monty Python all of a sudden.
I know. I'm with Ox. I'm with
Coconut.
Ox. I'm gonna have to look now. I'm definitely gonna have to look for that.
I do think that they have a zero sugar version, if I'm not mistaken.
We have crazy laws here, so there's a lot of stuff that like we don't have all those weird Mountain Dews and all that. Like, there's a lot of stuff we don't have here.
I'll have to see if I can find the zero sugar, because like I can't do sugar on my diet.
Trying to read how much. Trying to read how much caffeine and shit is in here, but it's too shiny.
Sugar and carbs, they will mess you right up.
Exactly. And the thing about it is that trying to find stuff that's low in both of them is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Which is okay since I don't really eat a lot of bread. So a lot of people are like, oh, this bread, low carb bread is great. I'm like, I don't really like bread that much, so I'm okay with a sandwich without bread. That's fine.
It's about the same as a candy bar.
Oh, okay.
36 grams of sugar. It's like a candy bar.
Yeah, about the same. Like I found these keto-friendly cookies because keto stuff is apparently usually really low in carbohydrates, and they're pretty good. Not as sweet as I want them to be.
You know what I like about this? The reason I don't like most sodas is because they have so much carbonation. When I drink it, it kind of like burns back my throat, burns my nasal passage. I don't like it. So I'm usually not big. This is not overly carbonated. It's like lightly carbonated. It's quite nice.
That's on it. And apparently they have them at Walmart. So I need to go to Walmart. I don't like Walmart though.
Cheapest place to get it. Order online. You don't have to deal with it.
That is true. I'll probably get it from Amazon.
I talked right over you. What'd you say?
Oh,
Randy.
I was just saying that, overcarbonation, will give you gas and everything. You'll get really bloated and you won't be able to breathe half the freaking day and all that stuff. And all you got to show for it is a bunch of syrup.
And also, if you have GERD, it'll also make your heartburn much worse. Woo and yay.
I don't have that problem. I'm a really good burper. Like I'll drink 2 sips of a soda and I'm like, like.
Well, see,
that is the question.
The little whatever, they call them the sphincters, but they're not, the anus one. They're all the other ones that open and close between your stomach and intestines.
Oh yeah.
Stomach and your esophagus and all that stuff. Half of those aren't working very good, so I get acid reflux and I can't burp at the same time. It's like, okay, what do you want to be, open or closed? Yeah, big
Someone
dummy.
Google that real quick. What is that called? Because I can't think of it. I used to know that. What is that valve called?
Which valve?
That above your stomach, so nothing comes back up.
1 moment.
Between your esophagus and your stomach, right where they meet, there's a valve. I believe that's where it is. I can't think of what it's called. Someone Google
Diaphragm?
it. Let me know. No, that's for breathing.
I know, but that's the first thing I could think of.
We're thinking of the anti-acid reflux valve.
Oh, I don't know the name of it. I know I have GERD and it annoys me, but I don't know the specifics of it because I'm dumb. Per this, it says esophageal sphincter. Per the Google.
What does it say?
Esophageal sphincter. So you were right. It is a sphincter.
Yeah. No.
The lower esophageal sphincter, or LES, is a muscle that separates the esophagus from the stomach. Well, I was right about where it is. Excellent.
Yeah.
Happy about that.
We remembered something about biology.
Look at you being all smart and shit.
I know, right? I mean, I should know this shit. Although I was never a high-end EMT, and I haven't been an EMT in years, but I did learn a lot of stuff. So
apparently the ones that I'm finding on Amazon for that are the vanilla ones, and I kind of don't really I don't like coffee and vanilla. Well, not coffee and vanilla tastes delicious, but Coke and vanilla tastes nasty. I do not like it, and I'm not trying it. That's the only one I can find.
Yeah, that's
Coca-Cola
really
and Royal Vanilla last night, and that tastes just fine.
They might make a plain one too, but I don't know. I just saw the caramel and the vanilla.
They do make a plain one, but I wasn't seeing Amazon has it where you can actually purchase it from them or purchase it from other people, and the only ones you can purchase it directly from Amazon was the vanilla. I think they have the dark one on there, but it's not one that you can get from Amazon directly. See, I like the orange cream soda Coca-Cola. That one's pretty good.
Oh, actually, I've had that. That is actually pretty fucking good.
That reminds me when I was a kid, back when they had great stuff like that. Back when
McDonald's too.
Oh yeah, or back when Hawaiian Punch had more caffeine in it than a cup of coffee.
Oh my god, that just reminds me of Surge. I used to fucking love Surge.
Oh, that too. I remember. I miss all that stuff.
See what I said there, Will? You should see his other setup, Reese. It's a nice flag in the background. One flag.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Will's other setup, which is right over there next to him, he has like 8 American flags hanging everywhere. It's like totally like I'm a fucking patriot.
Floor to ceiling. Oh yeah. It's to call out all the Trump sexuals and amosexuals. It's to call all those weirdos out and reclaim the flag from all those weird beards.
Theo said he's actually on a flag diet at the moment.
Is Trump making his own social networking thing?
I love Theo.
I wish he would. That way I just don't have to go over there and all his people can stay away from us.
But I don't know what the name of it is. And that I'm going to miss all my my Facebook is full of people that are from around me, and most of them are they fucking love them some Trump. They amuse me. They also make me sad, but they mostly amuse me, and I miss them when they all went to the other side, like Parler.
Parler, yeah, Parler.
I was like, I miss you guys. You need to come back and amuse me because you guys
like
are
a
hilarious.
whorehouse thing.
So
like their most recent upset, for the one that I followed the most, which is a cousin of mine, they were pissed off that male to female trans woman won a beauty pageant, and they're like the headlines made it so horrible. It says biological man wins beauty contest. Like, really? That's how you're gonna put it?
You would never have that. You would never get that headline here. You would never. They would say a woman won a beauty contest where I live.
Exactly. Or you know, touting her as the first trans woman to win.
Exactly.
That's a nice way of putting it. But biological man, it's like that's mean. And she's gorgeous. She is so beautiful too. Well, all of them are beautiful. They're in a fucking pageant.
Many gorgeous trans women, and didn't know that they were. I don't know. Previously,
what you selling?
There was like
I'm gonna make a tramp patch.
Like a tramp stamp, and it says tramp.
Well, I'm going for like the old school traveler because that's what I did all throughout my 20s. But tramp stamp's cool too. I'm a retired hoe, so tramp stamp works too.
I used to have an ex-boyfriend who insisted that he wanted to get a tramp stamp of the word tramp stamp.
It's cool. It's cool until you're like 60, and then you got or you have to explain to your nurse when you're 80 while you have tramp stamp on your
exactly.
back.
Yeah.
It was a wild time in the 80s.
No, that would be the perfect lead-in to the one thing that I mostly hear from older men whenever I go out. It's like, if I was 30 years younger. It's like, sweetie, no. Just no.
No. Ew. Yeah,
yeah, I don't even insult people's intelligence like that.
I've seen. I'm sorry, Randy.
No, it's just not something you don't need to show your attraction to somebody 3 decades younger than you or something and make a comment about it. That's just
fucking rude anyways.
My thing is though, if they're interesting and they're entertaining, I don't mind it. But if they're just like the creepy, if I was 30 or younger, the things I'd do to you, that doesn't make it interesting. That doesn't make it worth my time. Like I've been to the bar and had like a 75-year-old man hit on me. He was hilarious. We like bought him a drink. He sat with us and talked with us the entire fucking night.
See, but that's cool.
Yeah, because we were amused.
It was not fucked up about it, right?
Exactly. It was funny. We thought he was great, and he's like, "Okay, I'll sit with you." And he was just kind of scared the fact that we were, a bunch of hoes, but it was great.
Right.
Sounds like a good karaoke night.
Woo. Right.
Unfortunately, the karaoke here, they have regulars, and that's the only people they'll call on, which makes me sad because I want to.
Oh, yeah.
They don't go like around here. You just put your name on a piece of paper. If you're brave enough to go up, that they go in order.
That's what we thought would happen. Was like you would go and order the people that did it, but they would if they're people that they thought of as regulars weren't signing up, is when they would call other people.
That's pretty lame. I've made an ass out of myself quite a few times singing karaoke.
I've only sung karaoke once, and that's how we figured out that they only call on the people, the others if they're not, their regulars aren't there. I sang 9 to 5, and I fucking killed it. But I was the only one that got called on. Like all of us signed up, and they called on no one else except for their regulars after that because all their regulars were signing up.
Oh snap!
I miss karaoke. I used to go sing Ace of Base. I Saw the Sign just to see the look on people's faces.
I love that.
It's one of those weird songs I know word for word.
See, I wanted to do Rah Rah Rasputin, but they didn't have that one, and I was sad because I love that song, and I'm so glad that it's getting attention on TikTok now. I'm like, that's an amazing song.
Has anybody seen that one with Putin in it?
Yes. Yes,
that shit is fucking funny, dude. It is funny, but it's also fucked up.
Of course it is.
They think Putin's gonna save them, so he's the big tough guy, right?
A lot of people think that. A lot of people think that Putin and Trump are gonna save us all. They're gonna ride in shirtless on a white horse and save us.
Actually, I saw a clip. Putin isn't
exactly
in the Trump campground. Trump just is a little bitch too. But I seen a clip with Putin, you know, they were all sitting around the table and like, hey, guess what the American president did this time? And Putin's like, yeah, that sounds about right, idiot.
See, now I'm just picturing Putin and Trump with like the little stuffed little horses that on the stick that kids have, and someone following them around with the coconuts like in Monty Python.
Yeah, I am so hyped. I'm so hyped. I just ordered a acai bowl with some, I think it was like chia and hemp seed pudding. So hyped. Hell yeah.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, guys.
Never heard of it.
Hey, Sam. How's it going?
I'm not a big fan of chia. It's too weird.
It's like
You can
poppy
eat
seed.
them little chia pets.
Yeah, it's like
Sticking your
poppy seeds,
teeth
but
and you're
not
like this for like an hour afterwards.
exactly. And they're crunchy, but they're not crunchy, and it makes me sad. And I want crunchy. I have lost my phone.
I feel it.
I know it's somewhere here on my desk.
Sarah needs some
May or may
sleep.
not be under the cat.
Okay, so I literally had to designate spots in my house because I would constantly put my phone down. I broke my phone case for my OtterBox. I broke both of the cases you wear on your hip, and I've been lost. I lose my phone every like 2 hours now.
I lose a lot of stuff, and then like people will try. When's the last time you saw it? Like, if I knew the last time I saw it, I'd know where the fuck it is. That doesn't work with me. I have shit memory. Usually for my phone, I use like the Find My Phone application.
I don't have proper object permanence, so where did you last put it doesn't work for me.
Exactly. That's my thing. I don't have whatever the fuck you just said with big words and
Object permanence.
Yes,
My brain doesn't really
permanence.
Yes, my brain doesn't really process the fact that when you look away, an object still exists.
I don't think mine does that. I just forget.
No, if the tree falls, it doesn't make a sound.
Yes.
I have a landline, so I just cheat. When I lose my phone, I walk straight over to my kitchen and
Well,
call
my
and
thing is,
call
I'm
my
in the habit of keeping my phone on silent because I'm technically not supposed to have my phone when I'm at work, but I do it anyway. Don't tell. So I keep my phone on silent though, so that way my phone doesn't, make noises when I'm working. So I keep it on silent. So whenever I lose it, I can't call it. I have to do the Find My Phone thing. Even if the phone's on silent, it still makes it ring.
Jenny, you look like a Bond villain.
Go, Jen.
Okay, well, so B, I have a philosophical question that I've been toying around with for a while that I haven't quite been able to answer on my own.
Go.
If a tree falls in the forest and every single witness to that tree falling is then assassinated, did the tree ever fall?
Yes.
That's a completely different question to did it make a noise? Did it fall? Yes.
No, you're not fucking assassinating me. I didn't see shit.
The answer still made a noise. Doesn't matter if somebody's
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no tree. There's no noise. Look, a distraction.
Who though?
Look, a squirrel.
Yeah, it's like a squirrel.
That's
That is the correct answer.
I might just try that with my tablet now and see if it'll do that. The Siri turn on my thing, but I don't know if I have. Well, my tablet's turned off right now.
You're gonna drop your tablet in the forest?
Yep. See if it makes a sound. Absolutely.
If I go camping, I probably
Oh.
would.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
You guys are ridiculous.
Yeah, but looks aren't everything, B.
I didn't say ridiculous looking.
I thought I was cute.
Yes,
Jenny-
yes, everybody nod. Randolph was here the entire time.
Yes.
Yes, nods.
Does this have anything to do with assassins in the tree?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Assassins? I didn't hire
Robbery.
any assassins. What are you on about?
He's a burglar.
I thought every trans
Oh, so
person
now he
had
just-
their own army of assassins. Is that not in our contracts? Our George Soros money has to be going to something.
Oh, see, I had a word with a couple of the higher ups, and apparently we have the option of trading in assassins for spies.
You know, whenever someone says, "Oh, you're being paid, you're a paid show," I always tell them the truth. I wish a mother effer would. If you
Right.
pay me, I will shill. If you pay me, I will never shut up about it. You know, you'll
Right.
know when I'm being
Positions
paid.
I already
You'll know.
hold.
Drink jelly juice, otherwise the candida
have-
will infect your system and then turn your insides into your outsides.
I'll go on TV and
You know-
say cigarettes are good for you if you pay me
You know,
enough. You know,
If we were to actually believe everybody who said they're expecting to receive their check from George Soros, I'd have to say he must have some really wicked bad credit.
seriously.
All right, see, but
So look for the
how this
cabal,
usually
so-
goes, whenever I go back to work on Thursday, I'm gonna have a customer legit tell me, I'm waiting on my check from George Soros.
I wish I was a NASA shill. Reese 2.0.
See, my
I wish
my
I was.
usual response, rather than waiting on Soros money, is I am the mysterious they.
I'm considered a part of the mysterious they for car insurance. Does that count?
So I think the Earth is. I,
Is that about it?
I think the Earth is round. Does that make me a NASA shill? I
Yes.
believe
Yes.
the photos.
I'm a
right
NASA
here.
shill as well.
And
so
yes,
you're-
I am.
if you're
I am a
willingly-
NASA shill.
If you're
We are all
willingly
NASA
moving to
shills.
Australia, well,
I believe the Earth is round not just because of the fucking NASA photos, but just by pure thought experiment alone.
it's measurable from Earth.
No, my thing is look out. See, I have many telescopes, and since I was a child, I've always looked out beyond. Everything else is round. If you think
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry it went to flat Earth. I
I also
apologize.
have a problem with the
I
fact
apologize.
that
I
With
do
the
not understand what you're
magnetism,
debating.
the Earth wouldn't rotate if it wasn't round.
I
It wouldn't
don't-
rotate like that.
Seriously, I don't understand what the debate is here because there's lots of flat earthers who say the Earth is round. They just don't agree that it's spherical.
My
Oh,
thing
okay,
is,
see, I'll fight
as a
somebody.
person who
Oh,
has
you
Randolph,
asked,
that starts
asshole. Yes,
fights.
spherical. That's what we meant. Get back to work, Randolph. Holy shit.
if
Aren't
the
you
Earth
supposed to be
was
screwing
flat,
something over
Cat
there?
would've knocked everything
Here's the
off of
thing.
it
No,
by
no,
now
no,
anyway.
no.
That's
Flat
stupid,
Earthers.
dude. What's a stupid joke? If you believe it, then you go right on ahead and you just walk right off the edge of the earth. It doesn't matter. You'll come around.
Isn't
Flat
the saying
Earthers
we
by
have
and
flat
large-
earthers all over the globe?
Flat earthers by and large, right, are Bible literalists in the sense that there's a firmament that separates the waters above from the waters below. We live under the firmament. The earth is a four-cornered circle, whatever the fuck that means. And so, that's what they believe a flat earth is.
And the
Yeah.
Lord
But
stood on
not all of
both
them are
sides.
Christian, though. That's the thing.
Well-
They're non-Christian and non-religious. Not very many of them. Flat earthers.
Flat Earth is
Scared to
a
fight with that one.
you
Go
can't defend flat Earth. Flat Earthers make me angry. There's no defense. We live
Again,
in a
my
modern
thing
era.
is, if the Earth was flat, cats would have knocked all the shit off of it by now.
If the Earth is flat, then Purple Rise with Orange's theory of the border is being protected by penguins is true.
That's what some people think. It's protected by penguins and polar bears.
Yeah, then there's
That's why
penguins
they got
protecting. Yeah.
such big
Polar bears
tentacles.
live in the Arctic.
But there's some people that think that penguins and polar bears are protecting the ring around the Rosie, the Earth, a ring around the Earth.
You need to go to sleep, young lady. She's been up
My
for
mind
24
won't shut the
hours.
fuck up.
He said, I can't type, and now the mouth's going too.
Oh, I can't
Sarah-
talk anyway. Like I
Oh,
forget
dear.
words all the time to begin
Yo,
with.
I'm
So
gonna
this
go
is nothing
snort an
new.
energy drink. I'm gonna go snort an energy drink. I'll be right back. I need.
I have taken my Xanax and it hasn't kicked. I took my Xanax like 8 hours ago.
Jen
Sarah,
needs 3
how
lines
long
a yay.
How long have you been awake, Sarah?
I have been awake since 6 p.m. yesterday. It is now
Oh, wow.
10 p.m. today.
So about 14 hours.
About. No, a little bit longer than that. So 24 was 6, 25, 26, 27. About 28 hours.
Oh wow.
See, I can't do it. I did a lot of recreational drug use when I was younger, so I get loopy fast. So I need sleep and food. If not, I go full hypoglycemic after about 15 hours.
Well,
Oh,
my thing
I-
is usually, like I mentioned, I take the Xanax. That gives me about 4 hours of sleep a day. Typically, I get about 4 hours of sleep a day, and then my first day off, which is typically today on Monday, I sleep most of the day and catch up on my sleep. But sometimes I'll get to where I'm not. I only sleep for a longer time or extended periods when I'm exhausted. And right now, like my body's exhausted, but my mind's like, woohoo, let's do this shit. Woo, yay, wide open. And I've tried like relaxing, laying down. Yes, basically. And I've tried like taking my Xanax, melatonin. I've taken basically everything that I have to help me sleep, and none of it's working. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until my brain just like says, you know what, fuck it, calms
Your
down.
body's your body's sleep chemicals just don't exist sufficiently.
No, they don't. And the longest I've gone without sleeping was a little bit longer than 48 hours, and I started hallucinating gnomes trying to steal my Dr. Pepper. I know I called a friend telling her to come help me get my Dr. Pepper from a gnome, and she's like, "You're going to fucking sleep, Sarah." No.
Well,
So
masturbating as a sleep aid.
what was that?
I don't need like I can go a while without certain things like food or if I try to sleep, but I will get grouchy fast.
Yep.
I've tried the sleep aid that you mentioned, Randy. It didn't help. It makes me
Yeah,
sad.
nothing much. Melatonin, I mean, it takes freaking 6 hours to kick in, all that, before you're actually tired. Then next thing you know, the entire day you're just dragging
Well,
ass.
usually in my sleep aid, the Xanax takes about an hour to kick in, and sometimes like this, it just doesn't do anything, and I'm just more tired, but more tired physically, but mentally my mind's wide open. And again, I miss words normally anyway. Like
You're making all these drugs sound like fun. I'm such
Yeah.
a prude in my old age. I drink coffee and smoke pot and just live off of
They're not-
anxiety and anger.
they're not
works.
fun. They're all prescription. Unfortunately, I need all these. To
This
help
is
me
why we
keep
get along
moving.
so well, Will. That's what it is. We're both on the same diet.
If you're
See,
pissed off, you'll live
I-
forever.
I subsist off food that's almost definitely bad for me, drinks and weed. So mood.
Kitty's here. Hi, Kitty.
You know
you'll
what? I
get
have
over
to
that,
stop
Stan.
myself.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
can
Go
see-
ahead. Go ahead, Randy.
You'll get in like freaking 15, 20 years from now, and all that junk food and everything, you're gonna not even want it anymore. You're gonna want some good healthy stuff because your gut's probably gonna hurt, and you'll have these what do you call them, love handles and all that stuff.
Okay, so I'm right in the middle of that. Like, I cook every day. I make sure there's vegetables. I make sure that my son and I are eating healthy. But at least twice a week, I'm like, let's go get chili fries. Or I'm like,
I mean,
let's go call a pizza. That's bigger than both of us.
I think in fairness to me, I do actually eat relatively healthy food, and also UK fast food is different to US fast food.
Oh, you mean it won't kill you?
our carcinogen level and toxic chemical level is much higher.
Yes,
I'm sure. It goes right to the FDA, though. Isn't that weird? How is that? How is that you can get like Narcan cheap and opioids cheap, but all the shit that saves lives are really expensive?
Because they know you're spending money.
Now they're trying to like limit people's access to opioids too, though. Unfortunately, because let's get them addicted to it and tell them no.
Well, I have no problem with it for people who actually require it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they're denying people that require it. Like my friend's husband, he needs it to function because he's chronic pain daily, but he can't get any painkillers.
There's not many people who would agree with me on this, but I think we should legalize recreational opioids.
Hey, it worked in Spain and Portugal, but they do have zombie zones, so don't fool yourself.
And liked them.
I think that it should be kind of systemically legalized, but also a bit of a thing that you have to go through rehab centers in order to get it.
Well, I think you should be doing it in a safe environment, but
See, but Kitty just brought up a good point. She is someone who actually needs opioids to survive.
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference between Kitty and someone who's taking it just to lay on the concrete every day.
Yeah.
There's a big, because Kitty functions, and there's people who are functioning, people that do that in order just to lay around, So there's
there's also the fact that a lot of stuff, if you make it where it's no longer illegal, less people are going to be tempted to try it anyway. Because a lot of the people that do try it, well, not a lot, but a good portion of the people do it because of the risk. The fact that it's something that's forbidden. It's kind of like telling someone you can't do that. That makes someone want to do it more than they normally would.
Right. Yeah.
People are inherently
usually, if it's unregulated enough, it's pretty unsafe too. You just never know.
Because I've seen that with people for drinking. Like whenever I was growing up, my friends, teenagers wanted to drink because it was legal. And the moment they hit 21 and it's legal, they're like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's not fun.
You know what, though? Kitty did bring up a good point. You should have bodily autonomy, and I do believe that you should have the right to get as high as you want and lay on the pavement if you want to. That's how if that's what you choose to do with your life.
Sure, I still think there should be some regulation. I was gonna say I think there should be some regulation with it in regards to like age restrictions and shit.
They're talking about your song in the chat, sewing.
Oh, I know. It's in my. I'm singing it. I'm rocking out.
That's what I was saying.
In my head right now.
Open up my eyes.
There's a difference between regulation though and like felonization.
Oh yeah, right? No, I think they should all be legal. I just think they should all also be regulated.
I agree because you don't like I said, there are real life zombie zones where people are just everyone's just kind of on something on the street and people are just it's a strange thing.
But shouldn't there be like limits of it? Because isn't there like a drug called, I think it's called crocodile or something, that basically makes your skin rot and people do that anyway?
Well, here's the thing. If all drugs are legal, it would be the purest versions of those drugs. There wouldn't be crocodile being sold because what crocodile is dirty heroin.
Well, exactly. Yep. So that's true.
And the other thing, of course, is if you legalize it. So, I'm trying to remember what study I read, but I think it was something like it can reduce the price by on average 80% or some shit.
That's what happened with pot here in California. It went way down. You see the smile on my face? That's because it's affordable.
Aren't the taxes?
Dude, I'm gonna tell
California
you
as well, because I know it was helping Colorado out a fuck ton with the taxes, at least alone from it.
We're so
here's my thing, right? Like, a lot of these drugs, the main issue with them is that they're chemically impure, that they're cut with like chemicals that nobody knows about, right?
Well, yeah, that would make it worse better if they're regulated, because then like you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, if
a lot of times when people move on from other drugs, it's because something's been cut with something else.
If there's dispensaries, right, like, then we can make sure that a cleaner, safer product. Of course, there's no such thing as a safe drug, but a cleaner and safer than a street drug
I agree with
gets
that.
delivered to a
I mean,
because
objectively
get
speaking,
done
weed
either
is
way.
safer than booze.
Yeah, but what if okay, so you legalize everything, okay? What if people start smoking like spice? It's something that's new age, wasn't my generation. It killed people. People were dying from it.
You mean like
People
pumpkin
still smoke
spice?
spice to this day. Like,
Really?
yeah,
I'm
people
old.
still smoke.
I just think it's weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
like banning these drugs categorically has been proven to not make it so that nobody does those
I
drugs.
agree with you.
So
Instead
I
of
don't see
the-
why they should be banned. I think they should be regulated and people should be monitored when they do that. That it's done in safe environments. But that, it shouldn't be outright banned because that doesn't fucking work.
Well, that you
Yeah.
also have to work on education about them too, though. And if you know anything about the United States, we're not very good about education stuff we don't like sex eds. We're like, don't do it. That's our thing. They're like,
Yeah.
don't have sex.
I'm laughing at
like
what
that,
Kitty.
Luke.
I'm laughing at what Kitty said.
Yeah, pretty much.
That
See,
is
but here's the-
adorable. I like that.
I agree in bodily autonomy. It's just there's certain drugs that if people do them, they'll be dead in less than a year. If you have a respiratory issue, you shouldn't be doing certain drugs. If you I have
Exactly. So that would go with the education of it, though.
but I have a good friend who took what I called a hot shot. It was ecstasy and acid. And I guess they had always been schizophrenic, but they found their schizophrenia at a young age. And that was the last time they ever did any hallucinogenic drug, but they never came back from that last trip. And now this person is institutionalized and always will have to have someone watching them.
Oh, damn.
And it's because they were already schizophrenic, but this particular drug invoked it early in he was under 30 and diagnosed with schizophrenia.
But if you mix drugs like that, of course, there's going to be dangerous side effects to your mental health. Like, you shouldn't be mixing drugs. And if it's monitored and done in safe environments and, people are checking up on your medical history, they'll be able to talk you out of doing whatever it is you plan it on.
They won't
doing.
prescribe it to you.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
And if it's legalized, the street worth wouldn't be worth it for drug dealers. They would be non-existent, so you couldn't get it. You'd have to really search hard.
You can basically up a cartel by legalizing pot.
I was just about to say that in California, what happened is the cartels just stopped coming here. So now they send whatever drugs here, but they send pot somewhere else. Because we used to get a lot of
That's
our
my
drugs
point.
from Mexico.
It's legal now. Why pay that street price when you can walk into a dispensary and get it? Oh my God! So much, like a sixth of the price. Is what I'm
Plus,
gonna stay with.
medical is stronger.
Easy.
Medical is stronger. I don't know how dispensaries are, but
well, they're actually I actually went to one. I actually got to go to one. So they have like little samples that you can look at it and open them up and smell it and shit. And it says the name of it and the THC percentage on the top. And they have like the top shelf, good shit. That's really expensive. Then the next shelf down, medium, bottom, and then they call them the popcorn shelf because it's little bitty pieces, and some people don't want that. So I'm like, who cares? It smokes the same, whether it's a big butt or little pieces. But anyways, so the popcorn shit they sell really cheap, and you just get whatever kind you like, whether it's a Kush or whatever, sativa or indica. It's marked on the things. Tell them how much you want, and you can get up to an ounce a day.
So
and you
bougie
show them
people,
your ID, and you pay them, and you walk out the door.
Now, see,
so
I can't.
bougie people don't want the popcorn weed.
This is legal. This is what legal pot looks like.
Well, here they package it up according to the weight. Like you get a tube of it, or you get they package it up and seal it, and there's like a prescription kind of label on it.
California is really overregulated, and so we have laws on top of laws.
Yeah. See, here they are apparently considering legalizing weed in the UK purely and simply because the government's in too much debt and they need a way to.
Oh, that's cool! I love those bags.
Mine came in. I kept the bag because it's a nice, strong Ziploc.
I keep all of mine.
I
It's
can't get
very
it
well
open.
designed too. That's a very nice
I can't get it open. That's how strong it is.
graphics.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
What is it, plastic or something, or what?
Yeah, it's like they put it in a plastic bag and they seal it and they give it to you, and then you
Oh,
rip
cool.
the top off and
Then
yeah.
you can
So
move into a shaving kit or whatever from the future.
well, I guess it's to get it home safe without the smell going everywhere.
Well, yeah.
They work. Those bags work. There was a dispensary I used to go to where they would give it to you in tubes, but they California changed the law where everything has to be prepackaged. But it's because we have laws on top of laws because we're overregulated here. Because I live in a extremely liberal city, so we tax everything.
See, I get mine from my cousin. He's got about a half acre of the stuff. And it's like, okay, I can't smoke. It hurts my lungs and all that stuff. But, I'll smoke a little bit with you. But I can't do. He makes the wax.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that stuff's no joke, too.
Yeah, that stuff.
Oh,
is
that's
so
just
fun.
strong.
So-
Yeah.
I tried it one time. I took one puff, and I was coughing for like an hour and a half. And it's like the greatest high I've ever felt.
So,
It will
swear to
sink
God, I
into
had
your
these
bones.
oh my
these
God.
memories pop out and shit.
I
used to
feel
have
nice and lame now since I
multiple
don't smoke weed
personalities.
because I need my job.
I don't smoke weed either. My friends do.
But I will say that I have some friends who are like really, really hoity-toity. They're like law-abiding. Jesus says weed is bad. But a friend of theirs, he has cancer and he's on chemo and he had no appetite. And someone recommended butter made from him from
Yes.
cannabis to them, and they actually legit went out and bought some weed and made some butter for him to help him out, and it's actually helped his appetite, to be
Oh, that
honest.
stuff's awesome. Edibles
Oh
are
yeah.
like properly
Oh yeah,
made.
it's
They're
like
awesome.
helped his because he wouldn't eat, like he couldn't keep anything down because he was nauseous all the time, but it actually helped his appetite. But I was
Use Carrie's
surprised.
Irish Gold. Unsalted.
Hmm?
Carrie's Irish Gold butter, unsalted. Use
Damn
that
it, B.
for it.
Where is a pen? I'm taking notes.
See,
The
I-
best. Dude, it is
So-
the best butter and it
family
melts
is-
down easy. It's real butter.
And you name something that they sell in California too.
I have
can
a,
actually.
I have a recipe for your
Carrie's-
cookbooks. I have a recipe for your cannabis cookbooks.
What's that?
Okay. So, get about 7.5 grams of bud, finely chopped and put on a baking sheet. Bake at 400 degrees for about 3 hours. Then you're going to put it in a crock pot at a low temperature in some mason jars filled up with vegetable glycerin for about 45 minutes. And now you have THC vape juice.
Oh, I can show you my plans.
Wait a minute. Write that down, Will. Send it to me later. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a pen. I don't have a pen.
No, I'm just gonna go back and I'm
We
just
can
gonna
always,
rewatch
I was gonna
this.
say, we can come back to this stream and just be like, what we said here.
Wait a minute. Somebody get the timestamp for me. Put it in the chat.
2 hours, 12 and a half.
Thank you.
You'll know.
Oh yeah, no, never mind. I have it up there.
So,
My bad.
Really, like,
Yeah,
what-
screenshot it and send it to you or something.
I
I'll
will
forget.
DM B with the time on Twitter. It's fine. That way we both do
Like,
it.
really, all you need
There
to
we go.
remember is it will smell like it's done in the oven when it's done, and then just when the vegetable glycerin looks yellow, it's done. It's a very
Well, you're breaking up.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
you think?
We're
I
losing
was
Jen.
waiting. I was waiting a minute there, but yeah, it will turn a yellowish, amberish color. I've actually seen that before. The dispensaries around here, you can buy the little tubes of the regulated like THC oil stuff. Yeah, glycerin.
Well, shit. I'm into distillery science and like chicken and dumplings and stuff. I don't know why I'm hungry right now.
I've been thinking of making THC beer.
Yeah. It'd be great.
All right,
It
so
would probably taste horrible, but it would probably be a good idea anyways. Will,
so in California, you can
you're allowed to
legally-
grow your own.
Yep, you can, and these are my
Absolutely.
baby. These are my. I didn't think they were gonna grow, and look, it's like every day I water them, I talk to them. They're on the breakfast. Oh yeah.
Look,
They're
let me
awesome.
tell you,
You'll
back in
struggle-
the day when I was a pothead, we took some because back in the day, I know you young guys don't know this, or young people at all don't know this, but I say guys to everybody. So back in the day, you would get stuff off the dealer and it had seeds in it. I know that's weird because you don't see that these days, but it had seeds in it. And so I took the seeds one time and just threw it in a planter because I had this plant that just wouldn't grow. And I tried 2 different plants in it and they just both died. And I was like, well, let's see how tough this soil really is. That shit grew. And I came home one day and it was like popped up. I didn't look at it for like, I don't know, a week. And it was popped up pretty high. And I was like, oh shit. And I took them and I threw them down the garbage disposal because I didn't want any part of that shit in Virginia. But it was funny, man. Like it grew right.
Oh, the thing.
So
what
that's
you
how
guys-
I did my grow thing. Is I used to buy big orders, right? So I would get seeds, right? Because you don't get seeds with less than an ounce anymore. So yeah.
My brother-in-law came from a seed, and now he's a blooming idiot. Does that count?
Well, we were all seeds at one point.
Right.
I don't want to think about that, man.
Just remember, you come from my dick.
Sad thing.
I'm excited
see,
because
something-
last time. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Something
keep on
really
interrupting.
funny is that I didn't realize that it was uncommon for the seeds to be in there because me and my dad now have some seeds just from our stuff.
Well, it depends on what kind, where it's from, who you bought. If it was outdoor,
Now,
indoor.
granted, this stuff's weak as shit, so my dad ordered some cannabis seeds from Amsterdam.
Oh, that's awesome. Here, and that's another thing. Here, you can buy seeds at the dispensary, and you can also buy like plants that are. It's like one plant, but it's already like that high.
See, it's actually legal to own cannabis seeds here. It's just illegal to grow them.
Oh, that goes back to that weird thing. Like you can own a gun, but you can't have bullets. That's weird. That's just
I know you
weird.
can have a gun and bullets here. You just have to go through a shit ton of regulations to get either.
So, are they ever going to legalize pot in the UK, like here in California? Where you can
They're talking about doing it now and basically having it such that any place that sells cigarettes can sell weed and it'll be like 80% taxed or something.
You know what? We're like where I live, we're basically taxed that much anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference. If you really want something, you're going to pay the money for it.
Fair. And with what Kitty said, yeah, I tend to stick it in the microwave for a minute before I do anything with it.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Will. If you want it bad enough, you're going to pay some good money for it. I think $30 ought to let the girl at the gas station cuddle with me for a day, don't you?
Yep.
Man, we got some pros in the chat about drying out and doing this. Like everybody's got a big thing going on here. You can steam it off to an oil or butter over 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm just proud that stuff's growing. Usually,
I heard something 105 degrees Fahrenheit. That sounds very hot, and that scares me.
Yeah.
I have no idea what we're talking about, but that's very, very hot.
I actually,
They're talking about drying out.
275, yeah.
I actually,
Just
I-
disclaimer: this is an educational stream.
absolutely.
Will.
And marijuana is legal in the state of California, and I only have 6 plants in
Legal
that.
where I am. Too, so.
Any discussion of weed I do is if I were hypothetically in Amsterdam or Canada.
Oh, in
No,
that case,
because
I'm totally not doing the weeds. So my work, if you hear this, please, no surprise, motherfucker.
Sarah's not doing
drug
the
No,
weeds.
I don't want to get people in
I
trouble.
don't inject. I do
I'm
not
just a total
inject
show
the
off.
cannabis. Just saying, or no, inject the
Yes, you
marijuana.
are.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm just proud that it's grown this much. These were like, they were little seeds.
They are the hardiest bastards.
They're
it's
very
awesome.
pretty.
Oh, I'm
You
excited.
can save it grow like
Thank
weeds.
you, Von Rick.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is,
I figured about 160.
I have I do it hillbilly style. I just put all the seeds in a paper towel. I dip them in water. I put them in a closet that's just cool for overnight, and I plant them and they grow. That's it. I wish it was something special, but like it finally worked.
Well, they call it weed for a reason. It will grow anywhere.
Damn right.
It just depends on the quality of what you planted. I mean, it literally will grow anywhere.
I grew it in a swamp, so like it pretty much.
That's the perfect place.
And
a little bit of sun, a little bit of shade, lots of water.
Because I cling on to the past. They had this sale at the dispensary, and I asked the guy flat out, I'm like, why is this cheap? And he's like, oh, because there's seeds in there. I was like, I'll take everything you have in that case.
Dude,
because I knew that I was just gonna plant them. And like people don't want they don't want seeds in their weed, but honestly it's the same plant because it comes from the same store. So it's all just different processes and different points of where it came from, but it's all the same source. So I was
People definitely don't want weeds in their seeds. Seeds in their weed because they're not gonna grow their own fucking weed.
So here's the
Lazy
thing.
motherfuckers.
A lot of people
Lazy
don't. A lot of people don't like stems or seeds, right? Because you can't really get a high off them if you smoke them.
Yeah,
but
and they taste horrible.
If you bake them first and cook them, so you cook all the THC that's in them, and then you brew them in a tea, you get high.
Okay.
I like how people say that potheads are lazy as shit, and you guys are talking about all this like in-depth stuff that you have to do to like make your weed usable or even better, and it's like completely the opposite of being lazy fuckers.
To make it optimal, not to make it usable. The people who are
that's what I mean,
lazy fuckers
optimal.
make it usable.
I have been awake for a whole goddamn day, so my English is my first language, oddly enough. My English is shit.
I know how that is.
Anyone
My
who
English
uses their first language, probably their English is shit.
My English is shit at all times, so don't worry about it.
Word.
I speak American gibberish myself.
But you should hear someone who Koreans their first language speak English.
Actually, I do because I live in Los Angeles. That's
I was gonna say they all.
swear at all.
I've never met someone with Korean as a first language who didn't speak English better than any native speaker I've ever seen.
I had a good friend who we were at work one day, and all these suits came in, and I was like, I wonder what I did and why I'm going to go to jail right now. And it was ICE, and they came and arrested my friend that I worked with. He was from Mexico. He was a white guy. I had no idea he spoke the King's English, but he was an illegal alien from Mexico.
Holy shit!
I had no idea. And ICE came in and they arrested his ass right at, because they know you're at work. So when they say Mexicans are lazy, sorry. It's the old cliche.
That's a fact. Every time you see them on the news, they're getting arrested at work, not at home.
Like I said earlier, they're not taking your jobs. They're taking the hard jobs we don't want to fucking do.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We worked at a crappy.
Like I was saying earlier, all the white guys were like using the heavy equipment and driving trucks around and doing paperwork, and the freaking Mexican guys were shoveling shit and working in shit waist deep all day long.
Well, they're really fast workers, so they're really good at what they do. So, like where I live now, where I lived before, there's a lot of farms here, and like a lot of migrant workers will come in and they'll, pick the peaches and the stuff like that, and they'll do like I think it was my cousin said the Mexican workers, they'll do like 5 buckets a day. That's what they expect you to do, 5 buckets a day. She could barely do a bucket a day because she's not nearly as fast as they are, and she's fast for a white woman.
Oh, that's like,
I love the racism twist. She's fast for a white woman.
Oh yeah.
That's what they told her, because she's like asked us, she's like, well, how do you guys do like a 5 buckets a day each? And they're like, well, you're fast for a white woman. She's like, seriously?
That's what I say about white truck drivers, guys. Man, he drives good for a white dude.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, time out.
We should make that a song, you know.
There's white guys who drive trucks. Sorry, I'm from Southern California. That's a
not where you live.
That would be like spotting a Yeti where I live. You know?
There are mostly white guys that drive trucks in my area. I've actually been on a few dates to a truck stop nearby me. Really nice truck stop, oddly enough.
So, Will, do you know that company, was it called like Daylight Transport or Daylight?
Oh, wow. There's so many out
right
here.
outside of LA. They have like a little sun or something on there.
Okay, that sounds.
They deal with like FedEx and UPS and all that.
You know, that sounds familiar because my ex-wife's father, who recently passed, he owned a trucking company. That's why I kind of made that crack, because he was a white guy, but every other person he employed was either Hispanic or black.
Right. You know? Well, that's where you live. That's where the drivers are. That's where the drivers
exactly.
are.
And he lived in Central California too, so it's mainly Hispanic, anyways. You know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the reason I asked is I used to do a run for FedEx, and I did a drop and hook both ends. And just for you people that don't know, that means you put the trailer down and pick up an empty one and leave. You don't wait to get it unloaded. That's what a drop and hook is. So I do a drop and hook in LA and pick up a loaded trailer and take it to the middle of Pennsylvania.
Oh,
drop and hook, grab a trailer, take it to LA. I just went back and forth.
So was LA traffic just annoying, or was it?
Well, we didn't have to go into downtown. They were right outside of the proper LA, in a town that starts with like an F or something. It's like a shithole industrial area.
Fontana.
Yes, thank you.
Fontana. They have NASCAR out there because that's the only place where they have like wide open spaces and stuff.
And nobody cares if you make noise. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just a bunch of industrial places and some shithole places to live. That's all that's out there.
Absolute shithole. But I think that when I drive to Vegas, I see these little towns out in the middle of the desert, and I'm like, I could never live here. When there's like 50 people in your town, you're just, everybody works at the gas station.
And they're all fucking poor. And the only place, I went through a place like that. Oh my God, don't get me started. So me and my girlfriend went on
my hometown works at a place that makes buses. And they've gotten to where they don't really employ people very often. So basically right now, most of the people in my hometown are currently on layoff because the bus thing isn't making buses because the schools are mostly closed.
That sucks.
Shit, I went through west of Casper, Wyoming, and stopped for, and just, there's just a couple of buildings there, and the guy that was in the convenience store, he was also cooking up some ham and eggs and toast for me, and he's like, I'm also the mayor. The other 4 people voted for me.
It's funny you should mention buses, actually, because that is I was having a conversation about like US school buses the other day with one of my partners, and I straight up did not. They are one of 3 things that I've just straight up not believed existed when my partner offhandedly mentioned them.
All right, so that reminds me.
Sorry. The other 2 are solo cups and cheerleaders.
All right, so are you one of those people that's like baffled by the color of our fire engines?
I have not seen your fire engines.
Right, they're red. They're red, yes. So my friend that I go to the club with a lot, she's from the UK. And so when she first came here, she was telling me a story about the fire department's a big thing here. So like once a year, most schools will have like a fundraiser where they bring like the fire engines and everything. And she says she was just floored by the fact that the fire engines weren't red or instead of some bright color. So people like thought that she was basically catatonic. She's like, she was just baffled by the fact that they're fucking red.
Yeah, because over there they're all like yellow and lime green or lime yellow.
Yes, they're easy to see through smoke. Ours aren't easy to see through smoke.
So the way ours are set up, at least our modern ones, are basically the front bit is red, and then the back bit is metal but has fluorescent strips on it.
Exactly.
Oh,
okay. So she was just baffled by the fact that they don't do that here, and I'm like, I get that. I've always thought it was dumb that they're red because they're not easy to see anyway.
And they're solid red with very little anything else on it. Yeah.
See that's
they have the lights they have the lights and the reflectors, but
you look up
almost all red trucks.
Yes, if you look up on the internet, a picture of fire truck, the cartoony ones that are on there, that's what ours fucking look like. They look like the fucking cartoons.
Okay, so
And
just Google, and yeah, that's a little bit what the fuck.
so Sam, to answer your second or third part, cheerleaders are real. My neighbor across the street, she has to be at least 45 years old. She's a cheerleader coach. She was a cheerleader in high school, and whenever she walks, she still bounces when she walks, like a stereotypical cheerleader. It's real.
I was a cheerleader up until puberty.
My boyfriend's ex, the person he was dating when I met him, was a cheerleader, and I was like, "You're shitting me. Cheerleaders don't really exist."
I dated one in high school. We were like the token people of color, so we had to date each other.
If you don't have cheerleaders, you're not a high school or college.
Oh,
yeah,
damn right.
Well,
damn
I
right.
not
in the U.S.
I used to be a cheerleader up until puberty because whenever I hit puberty, I actually gained a lot of weight. And you have to be skinny as fuck to be a cheerleader, unfortunately.
That's not true. You could be a base. You could be a base. You live in a fucking prejudiced area.
No, sweetie, not at my school.
We used to have chunky girls that were bases, and they would hold up all the little skinny girls.
Yep, here too.
And like one dude.
White girl, and you had to be skinny as shit.
No, and we had one dude, and he got picked on. He was really gay, and he was the nicest guy in the world. But anyway.
Okay, keep describing these cheerleaders more, please.
We had no guys on our cheerleading team, unfortunately. Like if you acted anything except for like heterosexual, like I didn't. No one in my school knew that I was pansexual until none of them know, like except for my best friend from forever. Like they found out that two of my friends were dating that were women or girls at the time since we were in high school. My school lost their shit. We all had to pray. Like they brought back the moment of silence, which is moment of prayer, because taking over our schools. It's horrible. So horrible.
It's in the fucking water, man. You know that big water tower that looks like a peach? It's really gay water.
It's turning the friggin' frogs gay.
And I have a question about Georgia. Why is their thing all peach when really what they grow the most of is pecans?
How does it work that way? Is it like one hydrogen and two oxygen?
South Carolina grows all the peaches.
Come and get your nuts in Georgia. Come and get your nuts in Georgia. Sounds like a horrible promotion. So
yeah, Georgia nut.
She's
a Georgia nut.
Yes. So I think it's just the fact that they were all thirsty as shit. We're all sexually repressed. They're like, that's a nice looking peach right there. Love to get my tongue on that bitch. So that's what it is. We're all thirsty as shit.
Look, Dave, you give them a few years, they will be exotic dancers because half the damn cheerleaders skate through school on their looks and don't do shit. And when they come out, they're stupid. So they're going to end up exotic dancers anyway. So I hope they practice.
Oh, most exotic dancers don't really know how to dance anyway.
That or don't move to LA. We have some of the hottest anything you could name of. Our barista, everybody has college degrees,
Right,
people that work at the grocery store. I'm like, why are you so good looking, damn it? Why are all of you so good? Because they all moved here from somewhere else,
Yeah, they're trying to make it big in California.
It's unfair, I walk into the thrift store and like all the people working there are gorgeous.
I've seen pictures. People there are fucking beautiful, and I'm like, no. It's kind of like I've gotten to where I watch this show on YouTube called Bondi Vet, and like every single one of the fucking vets on there, they're from Australia. They're fucking gorgeous. It's like, why? How?
Well, I'll tell you, here like it's a prerequisite that you work out. I've gained almost 40 pounds, but I still work out. So you can't necessarily tell that I've gained as much weight. It's this weird thing where you have to be beach ready. And now they're slowly lifting the bands. And so eventually I'm going to have to show my my body at the beach. I'm going to be extra pasty though. It's been a year.
Show their body at the beach too.
I'm not showing my body at the beach because I'm pretty sure some fucker will make whale sounds, and I'm not dealing with that shit. Fuck that.
Not here, not in California. No, see, I don't know. It's so different here. No one cares. No one cares. Especially when it's like 105 outside, everybody goes to the beach. We're just happy that we're near the water.
No, you wanna go to a place where no one will really give a fuck. Go to Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Agreed. You see some nasty shit in Clearwater.
Or the
Yeah,
keys.
what
I've
goes
been there
into
before,
Clearwater
it's fun.
stays into Clearwater unless it's a Scientology, in which case get a lawyer.
The keys are like that too. I knew someone that that had a certain crazy lifestyle. The keys are
See,
insane.
I wanted to go to the Keys because there is like a festival for people who are into stuff that I'm into that happens there once a year. Unfortunately,
they
it
have
was,
fun.
well, obvious enough, it was canceled last year. I don't know if it's gonna be canceled this year, but it's around my birthday. It's in October, and I'm fucking excited.
Well,
I want to go.
I'm gonna have to go, folks. My
That's
phone
okay,
is
because
about
I'm cutting
dead.
this stream off in a minute anyways, Randy. Thank you for coming.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna go find some food that makes my sticker back up.
Okay.
Bye, Randy.
Good deal.
I'll
Take
see
care,
you
Randy.
all later.
See you later.
Bye, Randy.
So because I love Kitty, to completely go off of what she said right now, I live by the main Scientology blue building that everybody sees when they when they talk about Scientology. They have a Gene Roddenberry Drive, and the street are all gold painted bricks, but it's a
That
public
sounds
street.
annoying as shit to drive on.
You know that huge cruise ship that they own? They bring that in and out of Clearwater, which is not far from Tampa. It's like the next city over.
That's crazy. They own every other building in Hollywood. If there's one thing about religions or like places like Disney, they're smart because they buy property. So if it's not owned by Disney, it's probably owned by the Church of Scientology in LA. Well,
They
in the
buy
Hollywood
property, and they
area.
also have like really rich fucking people that are part of it, so that helps.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever become an assassin, I mean, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of property, cordon it off from society, and hire a bunch of lazy people to populate it so I'd have civilians.
I thought
See,
George Soros
it
was
all
giving
comes
us all
full
our own
circle.
Full
assassins.
circle. I've seen that movie too. Isn't that it's with that guy who's always in those action movies. And then he trains the assassin's son. He had to off the guy. Oh, what's that movie? Jen and I.
It's not the dude from Taken.
Is it Transporter? No. Oh, I gotta look it up.
And it's not Steven Seagal.
No, it's that Jason Statham or whatever his name is.
He did like 3 Transporter movies, maybe. I only saw one of them.
Jen was like, "You've never seen this movie?" I was like, "No, I live in a cave." Sorry.
Same. And speaking of caves, I am going to jump off of here. I haven't peed in a long time, and I'm hungry. So it's time to kill it. But thank you, everybody, for coming. As usual, everybody that pops in, I appreciate you all.
It was
and
fun.
love you all. And
It was excellent.
yeah,
I
it's
had
always
fun.
excellent. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, everybody in the chat. And everybody take care. And take care of each other. And be at peace.